Guys, welcome to FlipCast. It's been a while since I've had anyone other than the close-knit circle of homies on. So we got 2Spooky. What's going on, man? The Spookster.
Oh, happy to be. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, it has actually been a super long time coming. We've been talking about having you on since November?
I'm not sure when it was. I just remember you asked me, and then I'd be like, oh yeah, sure, I'm available this day, or you'd ask a specific day and be like, oh yeah, I think I can do that, and then that day would come and I just wouldn't hear anything, so I'd just be like, oh okay. And then
I'm terrible at other than my business, I'm terrible at managing everything else. So that's why my wife handles everything else, doctor's appointments, everything, or else I would just be a mess. I would die.
Yeah, I feel that.
So dude, how did you get into starting to make YouTube videos?
Well, I've been doing YouTube in one way or another since 2008. I started out with I'm not sure if you're aware of what RuneScape is. I imagine you've at least heard of it.
Of course. We all I think I'm 28. How old are you?
I'm gonna be 25 at the end of the year.
Oh damn. So all right. So I think people within our age bracket played RuneScape at some point in their lives.
It was a banger. I still play it on and off to this day. Fun fact. But back in early YouTube, when YouTube was first starting to, get around, because I think it started in 2007, 2006, and then it really took off in 2010. But in 2008, there was a lot of videos based on RuneScape, specifically how there's AMVs, right?
Yeah.
Well, they had RuneScape music videos. So I was like, bro, I want to learn how to do this. So I just started making those, and they're all terrible. But then I transitioned to a channel where I did AMVs and junk for a little bit. Then I transitioned to doing skits with my brother, which I'm not going to tell anybody the name of that channel for obvious reasons. Cringe. But that was kind of the first time doing YouTube seriously, where things were monetized, even though we made no money. Then eventually I transitioned to this channel now, where I did gaming stuff and card openings for a long time. And then I was getting back into anime. So I saw a video, I think it was Channel Frederator who made it, where they did a big video about Naruto facts and stuff. And I remember watching, I was like, bro, that was awesome. I love learning things. And I was like, okay, well, do they have one on other anime I like? And they didn't. So I'm like, well, shit, maybe I could just make those myself. And one thing led to another, and it just ended up taking off.
And just like I told you off air, I found you through a Slipknot video.
Indeed.
I just looked it up. 101 Slipknot facts. I didn't know there were so many Slipknot facts.
Yeah, back when I started, when I started doing facts in general, I was kind of like, well, I also like music a lot, so I'll do some on those too. Some of my early ones, I think I did one on Chevelle. It's a band I really liked at the time. There's a couple others I can't even remember at this point, but I started kind of doing a lot. My favorite band is Deftones.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I don't know if you like them or not.
I love them.
I love Deftones.
I love Deftones. I'm not a crazy fan, but I know a guy who has a giant white pony tattoo on his back. Just
that's rad.
The entire back. I'm like, that's fucking dedication. No, Deftones rocks, man. I think that's one of those bands where a lot of good memories and a lot of bad memories.
Yeah, I feel when it comes to their music too, the thing that's really interesting about them is they kind of as far as the rock and alternative genre goes, they can kind of hit every beat. Some of their songs are really, really they go hard, and they can also do the really soft stuff and everything in between, and it just works.
I think I got exposed to Deftones. So my parents own a restaurant, which I now have taken over. And one of the only good things is growing up in a restaurant is that I got all my music taste from all the fucking shitty 16-year-olds when I was 10. So these kids are just here, listen to this. And it was Static X, Deftones, Rage Against the Machine, of course, Cypress Hill. And yeah, that's how I found out about Deftones. I think the song that I heard was obviously House of Flies.
Yeah, it's a big one.
And then when I was really in my goth phase and Queen of the Damned was the shit, I thought that was the best fucking song in that entire soundtrack. Yeah, but so yeah, Deftones rock. So Deftones, who else? Chevelle?
See, my taste is kind of fluctuated over the last couple years. So I really enjoy kind of everything from alternative to heavy metal. but I've also been really interested in like really mellow music recently. Like it's kind of a really weird name for a genre, but it's called Midwest emo. And it's basically just like a bunch of people crying with acoustic guitars.
Like American football type stuff?
Like American football type stuff, exactly.
I lived in the town where that house is at.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I actually went to that house.
Yeah,
I went to that house.
I've been in the house too.
Yeah. I went to a show like to see, there's this band called Mom Jeans that I really, really like, and they were playing up there. I didn't realize that was the same town. But my brother knew like the American football house was there, so we like went there, and I remember he and the other person that was with us like went to see if anybody lived there, and they like opened a door, and it was just like a complete mess because there was like a door open on the side of the house. But it's a piece of history right there.
It's a piece of emo history. Midwest emo.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to do here. It's fucking cry.
That's all we got.
Except for bawl your eyes out, dude.
Yep. Cry and corn. Yeah. Every place I've lived, I can look out my window and see corn.
I can see corn right now if I look out my window.
Exactly.
I just what was the did you guys get a porno core scene in your area?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, we've had some like meth.
Yeah, so there was a porno corn scene, and there's also porno core, which also happens to be with meth as well. Have you heard of a band called Cemetery Rapist?
No.
Oh my god, dude! It was this dude from here. He traveled everywhere. It's just a dude, pig squealing into a microphone. Actually, let's just I'll just play a clip because it's absolute horse shit. I've seen this dude live. I was friends with him on Facebook at one point, but I think he might have gone to prison for something. So yeah, this is him performing at Berlin. Just listen to this. It's okay. It's trash. Yeah, it's just man.
Like I can appreciate scream vocals a lot. Like I hate when people are like, you can't even understand what they're saying. It's like, shut up. Like I don't know. Some people listen to mumble rap, and it's like, come on.
I like mumble rap.
I mean, I like some of it too. Like that's another genre I've kind of like dabbled in recently. Is like hip hop. Not too much, but I've listened to some, and I've been like really getting into it. But mainly what I'm trying to say is like people who argue with like, mumble rap against screaming. It's like you can't really, you can't outright tell what they're saying with either genre. So I don't think you have the right to criticize it.
And also, when you get into a genre, you start to just be able to understand. Like I can listen to, like for instance, I'm a big Cannibal Corpse fan, and if you threw on Cannibal Corpse, I would probably be able to decipher maybe 50% of what he's saying.
Yeah.
But like
blood.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this real quick.
Okay.
What is your favorite Slipknot song?
Oh,
if you had to pick just one. So I know what mine is, and I feel like it's their best song. It's perfect.
God damn it. It's first album.
Hell yeah.
I can't think of it. It's the one from the Resident Evil soundtrack. They had 2 on that album, didn't they? I can't think of the name. I might say Spit It Out. I really like Spit It Out.
Spit It Out is a good one.
God, what is that song? I'm gonna have to look it up. It's on it's the first Resident Evil movie soundtrack. I used to be in love with that soundtrack.
Oh man, I don't even know what songs would be on those soundtracks.
I have maybe I just watched a fucking music video, like someone's fan music video where they just played the liquor jumping off. I remember the liquor jumping off the train in this Wait and Bleed.
Oh, Wait and Bleed's a good one. See, my favorite is Eyeless, which is also off their first album.
Their first album is really fucking good.
Like that's like because I'm a pretty scrawny guy, or at least I used to be back in my concert days. But the only song I've ever moshed to was at a Slipknot concert, and it was that song because I didn't think they would play it, and sure enough, they did. So I'm like, all right, I guess I have to do this now. And with all like the absolute meatheads in the audience, like it was just kind of like getting bopped around like a pinball and sliding across the floor from all the sweat. Like I'm lucky I didn't fall, but it was great.
I almost went to a concert of theirs in junior high, and we had this substitute teacher who was super fucking rad, and everyone was like, "This dude's so cool." My friends saw him and moshed with him at the Slipknot concert, and then when we came back to school, he acted like nothing happened. He was like, "Yeah, it was a good time, but I have to be professional now." Just dude, Slipknot's, I don't know. Slipknot is like, I think it's like that gateway drug for me because I got into really, really heavy music, like black metal. I was super into like all that shit, like Mayhem, Dark Throne, Dimmu Borgir, Dying Fetus. Actually, a lot of people don't know this. My vinyl collection is larger than anything else I have. I have a 5,000 record collection.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's larger than anything else. Than my manga, my anime, anything. So music's very important to me. Emo music specifically. I think everyone our age in our age bracket goes through an emo phase. Do you like Foxing?
I have some of their songs on my playlist, but I haven't actually like given their whole discography a listen or anything. So I couldn't even name a song, but like I know that name.
That they're from Canada, I think, and they have a song. It's wrote you a letter, told your best friend to send it. It's good. It's good. Mushroom Head.
Oh, I've seen them a couple times.
Mushroom Head's rad.
Yeah, they actually have some bangers.
They do have some bangers. God, what was again soundtrack? There was that song was like, "What's your name? Who do you love? I want to hate you, treat you, kill you like you've had enough."
I think my favorite song by them is called Blomp or something dumb like that.
Did you ever get into like Static X?
My brother was really obsessed with their Wisconsin Death Trip album for a long time. So like
good. I
had to listen to that a lot. And like I think to this day it's not really my style, but there's a couple songs on that I really liked. Like I remember So Real was a really cool one for me, even though it's not the best.
Love Dumpling. He says, "Love Dumpling, your ass smells like your ass tastes. You taste like chocolate cake, your ass smells like a rose." Or something. And I used to quote that all the time. How do you feel about Limp Bizkit?
I actually like Limp Bizkit.
I love, dude. No, for real. I love Limp Bizkit. I'm actually a little upset that Trump ruined Red Hats because I'm such a Fred Durst fan.
Yeah.
Such a Fred Durst fan.
Like I can rock out to Nookie any day of the week.
I think honestly, Golden Cobra wasn't that bad. I like Golden Cobra.
I liked the title track, but I can't say that I like actually gave the rest of the album a listen.
Did you hear the song they did with Lil Wayne?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
It's so bad.
Wait, I have this like tendency to just listen to early albums of most bands, and then like I just kind of there's like a cutoff point. Like I think for Limp Bizkit, I stopped at the hot dog flavored water. That's
a good album.
I love it though.
We went to Electric Forest a handful of years, but one year we went and we had to leave. And I was so dead tired from fucking partying all night that on the drive home, the only thing that kept me awake, and by partying, I don't mean drugs or alcohol. I very rarely drink. And I had a quarter of an edible about a week ago, and I thought I was dying, and I'm never doing it again. It was an awful time, but the only thing that kept me awake the drive home and kept everyone safe was I blasted Chocolate Starfish in the hot dog flavored water as loud as my car speakers could handle it. It's 7 hours on repeat all the way home from Michigan.
I think like the only song on that album I don't like is the one where he's like, there's like 42 fucks in this fucked up rhyme. I forget what song it is, but that's the only one I don't like. I like the rest of it.
Fuck you like an animal.
Oh, that's a 9 Inch Nails.
No, but that's that song. That's on that song by Limp Bizkit. He makes fun
is it?
He makes fun of.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, he says something like a fucked up 9 Inch Nail get knocked the fuck out. And then the chorus is you wanna fuck me like it. And mindless self-indulgence. Dylan just said mindless self-indulgence.
Oh, the only song I knew by them was Shut Up, I think.
They have a song on Frankenstein Girls Will Appear Strangely Sexy, I think is that album by them, but they have a song that I play for my parents all the time and they get mad every time. It goes, I love my mom because she fucked my dad. I'm your problem now. That's the name of the track. Yeah. I was like really goth though, so I was listening to like London After Midnight, AFI, Bauhaus, Joy Division, Typo Negative.
My uncle was like a huge Typo Negative buff.
I love Typo Negative, dude.
I tried giving them a chance, but like I can't say that I've really like listened to them too much. Like I just kind of usually when someone's like, "Hey, you should listen to this band," I'm like, "All right, go into Spotify, grab like whatever the most listened to are, and just throw them in my playlist. And when they show up, they show up." But my playlist is so big at this time, they just never show up. That's the biggest problem.
So you said something that you only listen to albums from earlier artists, and there's 2 artists that come to mind that
usually,
but there's 2 artists that come to mind that's a rule for me. Bullet for My Valentine.
Oh, they are so good in the beginning. I don't know what happened.
So good, dude. Even what's that one album where it's like "Kill Your Enemy"? My dead bodies all around me.
Oh, is it Scream Aim Fire?
Yeah, Scream Aim Fire. I even like that album, but
I like Up to Dignity, or no, not Dignity. What is it called? Fuck. It's the one with the girl on it. I don't know what the name of it is offhand, but that album, and then after that point is when I feel like they fell off. Because like that album, like, you know, it wasn't that great, but there's like at least 3 songs on it. I'm like, all right, you did good. Did good.
Did you ever listen to Tears Don't Fall Part 2?
Yeah, no.
Let's go again. I was like, wow, okay, guys.
Bro, never do a part 2 of a song. Never. The only time that works is like never. I can't even think of an example. That's how terrible it is.
I can't either, but it's also 3:30 in the morning, so
yeah, you're right.
We could also be brain farting. Another band, Trivium. Early Trivium.
Oh, dude, Trivium was one of like the first 5 concerts I'd been to. And then all right, this is an interesting story real quick. I'll make it fast. But basically, I got front row at that concert. First time being front row at a concert, at a Trivium show, right? It was Trivium, Whitechapel.
Oh, man, dude, yes.
What is their name? Darkest Hour, and this other band called Dirge Within. But I like Darkest Hour a lot, too. But,
I love Darkest Hour, dude.
They're fire.
One of these days will no longer betray.
Yeah, exactly. I think the Demons. But,
Demons.
So, like, that whole show, I did not get bumped by one person in the front row. I was just having a great time. The very next, like, only a week later, I went to see Chevelle at the same place. Front row, front center. I was so pumped. Didn't get touched the first 2 bands. As soon as Chevelle comes on, I got destroyed for an hour and a half. Like, my ribs were cracked. People went apeshit. It was nuts. Like, you'd think at like a Trivium show over here, like it was during their Shogun tour.
Oh my god, that album is fucking great, dude.
Shogun is by far my favorite of their whole
that's my favorite album. Yep, hands down.
I'm just amazed that like, you know, Whitechapel's out here and then I'm not getting killed, but Chevelle plays
is still pretty persistently good too.
Yeah, I haven't really given them too much of a listen, but I do have a couple songs that I liked.
I was big into Job for a Cowboy too. It was like Suicide Silence, Job for a Cowboy, and Whitechapel in freshman year, like all that shit. I think their Knee Deep, or no, their self-titled EP with Knee Deep came out my freshman year of high school, and I remember just being like, "Holy fuck, this is awesome!" Just like pig squeals. Dylan said his favorite band is 69 Eyes. I love 69 Eyes. Have you ever heard of them?
I don't think I've ever heard of them, actually.
They're like I want to say Swedish or Norwegian like goth band. They have a song called Brandon Lee that's really fucking good. Another band that I only listened to early on is Story of the Year. Do you like Story of the Year?
I don't know if I've listened to them. Like when you say that, at first I was like, wait, did he just like missay the story so far? But no, they're 2 different bands. I don't know if I've heard them.
What'd you think of? Because this was big when I was in high school, so I'm sure you're a little younger than me, so you're probably in junior high. But I Set My Friends on Fire, or We Butter the Bread with Butter. You remember those 2 bands?
I like one song by I Set My Friends on Fire. Everything else is garbage.
What, the Crank That Soldier Boy?
No, what song is it? Like, hang on a second.
Their cover of Crank That is killer, dude.
Friends on Fire. I'll be able to name the song as soon as I see it. Oh, it's the first song. It comes naturally on their Astral Projection album. That song I like. The rest of the album, like, dude, why would anyone listen to this?
I love Crank.
What is this?
I love Crank That though.
Oh, can't do it.
So you don't go too far into the heaviness. You like more like hard rock.
I do and I don't. I'd say it really just depends on the band. I would say like as far as heaviness goes, like picture like what Darkest Hour is. That's usually what I like prefer in that genre. Like I don't know, when it comes to like other things like black metal, like I've tried dabbling, but like I don't really like
Black
jumped
metal,
in.
I can't fault you. It's terrible. It's awful. I wrote my final English paper on black metal, and I love it personally, but it's not mixed at all. There's almost no bass in a lot of the early stuff. It's fucking terrible. It's like the shittier it sounds, the more black it is, and just like, oh, dude, that whole scene is fucking racist and homophobic, and it's just not a good scene to be in. So yeah, I've never partaked in the scene, but
I would say, like, out of all genres, I would have to go with Midwest emo, grunge, and new metal. So like some garbage and some more garbage as my favorites.
Dude, isn't it kind of weird that we're almost to the point where like Korn and Limp Bizkit are classic rock?
Yeah, it's so weird.
Like, I can't wait to pick up my daughter when she's like in junior high and be blasting Chocolate Starfish.
Yep.
And her being like, oh, my dad's old music is so gross. And it's like, this came out in 99.
Yeah. Like, Korn's another one of my huge favorites.
I love Korn, dude.
It's like, they're another band where like there's a cutoff point where I feel like they've just kind of gone downhill, but like they're still not bad. It's just like,
that's the thing.
They never hit the same stride.
That's the thing that really confuses me about Korn, is that some albums are bad, but then there's like a song or two on each album past a certain point that are really, really good.
Like, their first one is amazing. Their second one is kind of yikes in a lot of ways, but it's not bad. It's just such a weird, it's like a huge step back. And then
Follow the Leader.
Follow the Leader. Yeah. That's their third. That's their third. Their second one was Life is Peachy. I don't know if you know that one. But, and then Issues, I think, is where like they really hit their stride again, which was their fourth one.
I didn't like what's the one with the rabbit on the cover with like the Alice in Wonderland? I can't think of the name.
See You on the Other Side.
Yeah, See You on the Other Side. I was not a big fan of that album.
Bro, anybody I ask about Korn, they're always like, "Oh, you mean Coming Undone?" Like, that's everyone's favorite Korn song. And I'm like, come on, they have way better songs.
I'm coming undone.
Like, it's a good song, but yeah, that album's kind of weird.
No band has bass players like Korn. Like, I'm a sucker for that sound. Like, that way that they play their bass is just, it's so cool.
I've learned to really appreciate the bass. I feel like for the longest time, I was like, dude, you can't even hear the bass. It's like a worthless instrument. Like, why is it even there? But like,
that's why you go listen to black metal. There's no bass at all.
Like, there's this one band I like called Title Fight. And like,
fuck
you love Title Fight is fire. Like, they're so weird because they have like, they start out really like kind of like punk and hardcore, and then they go into like this weird mellow shit, but it's all like top tier. Anyways, like on their latest one where it's like way more mellow, the song I least liked on the album, one day like I was playing it in my car, and like I have like I don't even remember what they're called, whatever the speakers are for like vehicles that like bump it up. I can't think of the name.
Subs?
A subwoofer, yeah. So I bought a car like because I really needed one at one time, and like it was just in there, so I was like, okay, cool, whatever. But I could really hear the bass line of that song, and I was like, this is freaking fire. And at that point, I was like, dude, the bass is an underrated instrument.
It's super underrated. I used to run a record label, and it was an underground dubstep label, and a lot of it is just bass work. And we did vinyl releases. I got into mastering because of it too, and I really started to appreciate bass. Then is when I started to like actually have to master these tracks. I'm still pretty good at mastering. I think that's like one of the only good things that came out of that whole record label deal. But like, we would throw shows in St. Louis every Monday, so I would drive 2.5 hours to St. Louis every week for about 2 years straight. Like, just bringing in people from all over the world, and it was a good time. It was a really good experience. I still love that scene. I used to DJ vinyl too, so having to beat match by ear is also like a pretty cool skill to have. But now I can't do it at all because it's like a thing you have to keep up. Like, once you get out of that, you're like, but yeah, dude, bass. There's not many bands who have like, I can't think of. I went to Nashville. We're just bar hopping. I was the only sober one, and we go to a random bar. It's not that packed, and there's this dude who's probably 400 pounds, and he's the leader of the band. It's this bass player. He seemed really shy. He didn't make eye contact with anyone. Most incredible bass solo I've ever experienced in my entire life. Most incredible voice I've ever heard in my entire life either. And I don't know the name of the band. It's just
Oh,
Nashville. Nashville is incredible. Have you ever been there?
No, I can't say I have.
Dude, you just walk around. There's like a sense of like unity. Like everyone's just hanging out with each other. Doesn't matter like what you look like. Everyone's just jamming, listening to music. It's a good time. We stumbled into a hip hop bar, and we were the only white people in there. And the amount of love that we received was just incredible. So if anyone gets a chance to go to Nashville, even if you don't like country music, live country music is still pretty cool.
You see, country is the one genre that I'm just like, I can't do it.
it.
No matter how hard I try, can't do it.
My dad is a huge country fan.
Oh,
and all day, I hear fucking Kenny Chesney. When I was young, they were like, "Hey, do you want to go to a vacation with us?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I got dragged along to a Kenny Chesney concert. Miranda Lambert and God, who's the other band that opened up from? Some other band that's pretty popular. It's 1:15. I can't think of their name. That band, and then Kid Rock the next day, and Leonard Skinner. Terrible.
I just can't do it.
Except for Kid Rock. Kid Rock he's actually talented. He played every instrument at that concert. Piano, he DJ'd, he played bass, drums, guitar.
You say Kid Rock?
Yeah, Kid Rock.
Bro, I feel like Kid Rock has no business calling himself rock.
Yeah,
no business.
Dude, even when he was doing
he bawed with the ball once. That's all he needs.
That's actually a banger. I actually like ball with the ball.
Exactly. That's his one pass of like, okay, you can be rock, but no, that like, bro, you got to stop it. Kid country. That's what you are now.
Kid country. So, is there any good bands from Iowa?
Slipknot. They're from Iowa.
That's true. Besides Slipknot.
There's one band that like they're not exactly from Iowa, but their drummer is, and like they ended up kind of like taking off a little bit these days. They're called Hot Mulligan.
Okay.
There's another band from Iowa called Kayak Jones. They're pretty good. Other than that, though, like I'm not aware of any bands that have like taken off from Iowa specifically.
When I think of Illinois, I think of like Alkaline Trio. They're from Peoria.
I think Disturbed is from Illinois too.
Dude, speaking of Disturbed, that first album is so good.
Yeah, I feel like I always listen to the first 4 songs and then I just stop because like dropping plates. I just like, oh man.
How do you feel about God? What's another band I really like? System of a Down.
Oh, see, here's a funny thing. So the best way I can put this is there's like a small catalog of bands that for the longest time I could not stand, and the reason for that is because my brother got into music way before I did, and he would obsess over one band at a time, listen to nothing else, blast it all throughout the house all day. So for a long time, I couldn't get into Linkin Park. I couldn't get into System of a Down. I couldn't get into... It took me a long, long time to be able to listen to Blink-182 because that was a big obsession. And Sum 41. There's more, but those are the 4 that come to my mind right away. So like for the longest time, I'm just like, I don't like System of a Down, but they're fantastic.
They are amazing. I remember BYOB came out when I was in 7th grade, and I was just like, wow, this is the shit.
I'm a late bloomer for them, but I feel like my favorite's Aerials if I had to pick a song.
That's a good song. That whole album, Toxicity.
Yep,
is great. So how did you get into anime? If you want to transition over to we just talked about music for 30 minutes almost.
I don't get to talk to many people with music about. No one shares my taste. It's terrible. So thank you for that. It was great.
No, yeah, dude. I mean, if you still want to talk about music, I can sit here and talk about Taking Back Sunday with you.
Do you listen to Story so far?
A little.
They're
bit.
one of my new favorites. I gotta say. I feel like
I'm having like a kick of Silverstein. Taking Back Sunday.
I was supposed to see them this month, but you know,
Corona.
It was gonna be like my first concert of like in a long time. But
I haven't seen a concert since Bob Seger last year.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen anything, dude. I used to go to concerts religiously in high school, but
what was your first concert?
My very first was Cheap Trick when I was really young, but like actually getting into music like later in life, it was
Cheap Tricks from Champaign.
Yeah.
That
might have been where I think I saw them somewhere in Illinois too, if I'm not mistaken. But it was really cool, like being young and seeing them. But then actually, like, you know, being older and being able to appreciate it, I'm pretty sure it was Stained and Shinedown.
Okay.
And then it might have been Trivium very shortly after that. I think there might have been one in between that I'm not remembering, but it all went out of control from there.
The first the first musical group I ever saw was Destiny's Child in 4th grade. It was rad. It was really fucking rad, dude.
I can imagine.
I actually fuck with Destiny's Child a lot still. I also saw Aerosmith, but fell asleep.
I feel that.
I think Aerosmith sucks. I don't know.
I like a very small handful of songs from them. Like I remember having Guitar Hero Aerosmith, and I was like, bro, like I can appreciate some of this, but
they
like
had their own
whole Guitar Hero, dude.
Yeah,
what
the fuck? Holy shit, they really had their own game.
Yeah, they did. Like I'm pretty sure I had it for the Wii. Man, good times.
The only thing I like about Aerosmith is the joke in the movie Son-in-Law with Pauly Shore. Have you ever seen that?
I don't think so.
He puts on like all leopard, like a leopard onesie, and he goes, Steven Tyler PJs. Steven Tyler PJs. And that's the only thing I like about Aerosmith. You should watch that movie. That's actually a really funny movie.
What was it called again?
Son-in-Law.
Son-in-Law.
I think it came out in 93. It's got Pauly Shore in it. I think it's probably his best movie. It's
I wrote a note.
Fucking funny. It's so funny. It's about it makes fun of people in our area, like farmers. It's about a guy from a city who, you know, gets in with a family who's from the South. And when he meets him, he goes, inbreeders. It's good. How do you feel about the big four? Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, Slayer.
So I've seen Metallica. Actually, I've seen all four of them now that I think about it. I saw Slayer, Anthrax, and Megadeth all at the same show.
Okay.
I've seen Megadeth twice. I've seen Metallica once, but like, I think Metallica is probably my favorite. Then I like Megadeth, second favorite. Controversial opinion. Then probably Slayer, then Anthrax. But honestly, I haven't even really given Slayer or Anthrax like a huge chunk of my listening time.
See, it's literally opposite for me. My favorite is Slayer. I would put Metallica at the bottom of that.
Really?
List. Yeah, I love Slayer. They even put out like a new metal album, which is just wild to hear Slayer do that.
I think I remember them actually. Like, I think I watched a documentary or something where they were talking about how weird of a time that was for them because like music was just changing. They were like, "Well, we got to do what everyone else is doing."
There's a Diabolicus and Musica. Yeah, dude. They put out an album right after the Twin Towers. Though their album "God Hates Us All" came out the same day that the Twin Towers fell.
Yikes!
Coincidence? I don't know. Aliens exist now. Who knows? Who knows?
Bro, that reminds me real quick. Have you ever seen a UFO?
Yeah. But then again, it's the Midwest. Who hasn't?
Yeah, you're right. I have too.
I remember specifically me and some friends were like driving around because that's all you do. Did you guys cruise around too back in the day?
Definitely yes, but like literally my favorite coping mechanism with like any life problems is just to go for a drive. So dude, like
yes 100%.
I would always just like drive through, dude. Like, and the thing is like driving through Wisconsin and Illinois is like super relaxing because like there's just enough turns to like keep you, you know, like paying attention, but it's also not like boring enough to where you're just like I don't know, just going down a straight line. It's like so relaxing and it's just trees and farmland everywhere.
Especially as you get up north, it gets a little hilly, so you have like something other than corn to look at. But yeah, dude, I used to every problem I've ever had in life, I would go take a long drive.
Yeah, it's the best. Like nothing beats it. You just play your favorite music, you just jam out to it, scream a lot.
Windows down, dude.
Yep.
Screaming in the country, and plus the countryside, dude. No one's around. Dude, fuck yeah. Actually, that's how I fell in love with my wife. Is I was with a girl for 10 years, and then we broke up, and then I met my wife at the gym, and I asked her out, or no, she asked me out. I said yes, and then we ate dinner at 3 p.m. for some reason. I don't know why, but then on our way home, I was like, "Do you want to go home, or do you want to drive around?" She's like, "Let's drive around." We drove around for 10 hours, and just talked. played music. She's into like Zeppelin and Pink Floyd and stuff. She's like an old hippie. So, but she's young. She's 23. She's like an old soul. But yeah, dude. And then after we got married and she became pregnant, she would wake me up at 4 a.m. I want McDonald's. So we'd go drive around and we'd end up just cruising. And then the baby wouldn't sleep. So the only thing that put her to sleep was car rides. So cruising is like super important, dude. It's super. It's just relaxing.
Yeah. Like I think like if anybody's ever like, I just need to, get something off my mind or really ponder something, like, dude, just go for a drive. You'll feel better. Like, just go for like an hour. Just drive like all the way out to like the next big city, drive back. You'll feel so much better.
One night, my friend was going to the Navy, and we've done this before, but this is like probably the best time ever. We took his van. For some reason, we played what's that Godin guy? Oh, Violence Jack. We put on Violence Jack in this dude's van, and we drove to Chicago and got tacos and drove back. That's like almost a 3-hour drive.
Yeah, like my friends and I, like, you're familiar with Steak and Shake, right?
Yeah. Oh, dude. Oh, yeah.
It is
Spooky,
like
true story. We had a friend from England fly in, right? And he thought Steak and Shake was the greatest thing ever. He was like, "This is the best. This is gourmet food."
Like, as far as like really cheap fast food goes, it is by far the best, right? So we don't have one in my near vicinity. Like, we have to drive at minimum an hour and a half to go to one. So my friends and I are just like, yo, you want to go Steak and Shake run? We just fucking go. It's like, and that's the whole trip. Just get Steak and Shake, sit down for an hour, come back. It's the best.
The best time to go Steak and Shake is past midnight, because the best.
Oh, fact.
The coolest shit happens at Steak and Shake.
Like the last time we were there, they had armed security for some reason.
Oh,
like just had armed security. I'm like, bro, what's going on here? Like,
when the baby was 3 months old, I'll never forget this. We drove. So there's 3 Steak and Shakes in our town.
Hell yeah. You're living large. Unlike you, boy.
Actually, the best Steak and Shake is now next to a closed Hooters and Taco Bell. So you had like 3 gourmet trash restaurants all back to back. But we drove in a parking lot, and the cops just have guns drawn on some dude on the ground. We're like, we're not going here. We're getting out of here.
But the coupon, though.
Dude. God, Steak and Shake. I haven't had Steak and Shake in probably a year. What are you drinking at this time of night?
I grabbed a Pepsi. Honestly, like,
have you ever tried Monster Rehab?
I haven't actually. The 2 monsters I always drink are the blue one and the green one. If I have one. I have a very shit taste palate though. So,
what's your favorite food?
Probably breakfast foods. I feel like I'm a very picky eater, right? I'm not proud, but it's just the way I am. So I feel like with breakfast food, almost like any type, I can eat and not have a bad time.
Breakfast food. I don't like eating breakfast, but I love breakfast food.
Yeah, like eat any time of day. But like, so many things are classified under breakfast though. But I'd have to say like my favorite meal is like eggs, toast, hash browns, sausage links with some orange juice, no pulp. Boom, 10 out of 10 meal.
Do you guys have Perkins?
Oh, frick yeah, we have Perkins.
Dude, yes, Perkins! Man.
It's not 24 hours anymore. We used to go at like 5 a.m., but now we go at like 9 o'clock because they close at midnight, but it's so good. Dude, all you can eat pancakes, bro.
Dude, if you lived in this area, I feel like we would just be 400 pounds and listening to Taking Back Sunday.
Yeah, fact.
Dude, Midwest Rise Up. God.
We don't have a Denny's though. That's
Denny's
one thing that we don't have.
Sucks, dude. Perkins rocks. I saw my first vagina at a Perkins, actually, dude. I went, my parents, so, at the restaurant, when my parents were younger and had more energy, after we closed, they would take the whole crew to the Perkins. We'd all hang out, and eat. And I remember going one time, and a fight broke out, and a girl took her pants off, and I was like, that's the first time I ever saw a vagina.
Yep.
So
it's funny that you say that, because like I used to work at a Dairy Queen for a long time back in the day.
Fuck yeah, Dairy
Queen. And after work we'd go to Perkins. Like it was just something we'd do. That, or we'd also had Taco Tuesday sometimes at like the local Taco John's.
Dude, Taco John's!
Taco John's.
Yeah, man. Oh my god, this is making me nostalgia.
So let me ask you this: what is your favorite fast food joint? If you had to pick just one.
I'm on right now. I'm on a big Chick-fil-A kick.
Ooh, see, I think they're kind of overrated. I like it.
I just like their spicy chicken sandwich.
Ooh,
that's it. I think it's phenomenal.
I feel like Wendy's has the perfect spicy chicken sandwich.
Fuck, I might go get a spicy chicken sandwich.
But my personal favorite is Culver's, and I feel like as a Midwesterner, we're so luxurious to have Culver's because so many people don't.
Culver's Butterburgers, man, and the custard.
Yeah, like their Butterburgers are fire. Their cheese curds are top tier. Their chicken strips are unique, but still like delicious.
How many Culver's do you guys have?
I have one in my city, but there's
in a 20-mile radius.
It's so good. There's one in like a half-hour drive away too, so like it's not too far. But I literally live 4 minutes away from Culver's. It's great.
That's an underrated place, dude.
Yeah, like nobody knows about it because it's like mostly in the Midwest, like aside from like a couple just thrown in the middle of nowhere. Like I found out there's one in Florida the other day, but for the most part,
fuck Five Guys and Shake Shack and all
Dude.
that shit. Culver's Real Facts is the greatest burger place.
Yeah, Five Guys is literally just like a worse Culver's and more expensive. I don't know what they're doing.
Five Guys is the Chipotle of burger places, dude. Chipotle's overrated, dude.
Dude, there's the Five Guys and a Chipotle right next to each other, and I never go to either because I don't like them either. Yeah, it's like, dude, if I'm gonna get a burger and I want like a Five Guys-ish burger, I'll just go to Culver's. It's cheaper and it's right down the street. And like, fuck Chipotle. I don't want that anywhere near me.
So when my grandfather died, all the cousins came to my grandparents' house, and we just stayed there all the time. And it's really cool to like hang out with my younger cousins who are like 19 to like 16. And we all went to God, we were just talking about. Why did I just have a brain fart? Shit, Mexican restaurant that we're fucking Chipotle. I don't know why I just had a huge Jesus. We all went there and they were hyping it up. They were like, "Yo, Filippo, you're gonna love Chipotle." And I was like, "All right." We get there and I was like, "Okay, this is okay. This is like I don't like. There's no flavor. I don't get it. I don't get it." And they're constantly having like E. coli breakouts. I feel like. Yeah, oh, dude. What's another very Midwest thing?
Geez, let me think. I feel like we've named so many of them at this point. I'm running out.
So many iconic. Do you guys have an Alexander Steakhouse?
No, I think the only steakhouse that I can think of offhand is like Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah, but I think that's a nation chain, right?
Yeah, it's like everywhere.
Okay, Outback though, low key has really good steak.
See, we don't have one of those. So I think I've had one time out of town somewhere, but I don't remember where it was.
I'm trying to think of. Do you guys have a Chili's?
No, we don't have a Chili's anymore. We used to, not anymore.
I love Chili's, dude. I miss Dairy Queen when they had the s'more galore.
Oh, the s'more blizzard, right? All right. So in my freezer right now, I have not worked at Dairy Queen in like, what is it? Over 5 years. And I still have a frozen thing of the graham base, which is what they put in the s'mores blizzard to make it so like sweet. It's like literally liquid heaven. And I stole some because it was that good. Yeah, I still have it. It's probably awful, but I imagine it's so processed that like if I keep it frozen in a vacuum sealed tub, it'll be fine. I'm just waiting for a rainy day to put it in like a shake or something.
The oldest thing I have is this Gears of War energy drink I bought from a Hot Topic.
Dang.
2009. So it's 11 years old now. I kind of want to drink it.
I have like one little thing. I have this little like desk thing set up. Just like, I don't know. It's got all my vinyls and CDs in it. But on top of it, like Deftones put out like a line of different Indian pale ales or whatever they're called, IPAs.
Yeah.
So I bought like a bottle of each of those. And then I've also got like old Nuka-Cola Quantums from when they like made a soda of those, just sitting over there, but I'll never drink them.
I was really tempted to buy the Game of Thrones beer, and I just didn't. I was like, "Fuck, I can't be doing something. I can't be collecting something else. I have too much shit."
Yeah, me three. I'm a big hoarder.
Oh, me too, dude. I have 5,000 vinyls.
Yeah, I think I only have probably like 60 vinyls, but I have at least like 300 CDs, maybe. Obviously a lot of manga now.
How much do you have in your collection now?
Last I counted, it was like 650. ish.
I'm in the 600s. So I had 2,500 volumes at my peak.
Oh my god!
And I sold a bunch. Did you see Gantz sold for $2,000?
I saw you post that on Twitter.
And I'm really like, if someone wants to buy it, I'm not going to turn down $2,000. It's right there.
See, I haven't even read Gantz yet, so like,
dude, it's a masterpiece.
I'm excited for it, dude. My watch list is so terrible. Watch/read list, awful. Like, just hundreds and hundreds of series that I'm like, everyone's like, oh, it's so good. I'm like, bro, I just don't have the time. So I have to pick and choose.
This shelf, I've seen everything except for 3 things.
Oh my god. Like, I feel there's so many series I have bought recently that I'm just so pumped to read, but just haven't. Like, I got Lone Wolf and Cub not that long ago for like an actual good price, because like it's insane half the time on eBay.
That's true. Did you get the fucking pocketbook edition?
Yeah, the small ones.
I hate that shit so much. Dude.
It's like I had I don't really like a lot of the huge omnibuses, like when they're like super thick, because I feel like if I open it too far, it's just gonna like destroy the binding. So I'm like, and since I'm a hoarder. Did you? I also have a bunch of pop figures now too. I'm not proud of that one, but
why, Steve? Why, man?
So here's the thing, right? Like, I got one out of like a subscription box that I was like doing videos for back in the day, and I'm like, well, guess I got to start collecting these now that I have one, and it's just spiraled out of control.
Sam over at Manga Hunter on YouTube. Are you sub to Sam?
Manga Hunter?
Yeah, his name's Manga X Hunter.
Oh yeah.
For Christmas, or was it my birthday? It was one of those things. He sent me fucking this.
Yeah, I've got those.
Yeah, and I love Yu Yu Hakusho. It's probably my favorite shonen. And he knows that, and he bought me that. So thank you, Sam. But I'm not collecting anymore. I can't, dude.
Like, some of them, honestly, like, I feel like some of them are okay. Like, the ones that aren't just death void eyes and that's it. Like, the ones that like don't just look like a regular person usually look okay to me. Like, if they're accentuated in some other way. Like, my favorite one's the All Might, because it's got like teeth and everything. But I'm not proud of it, but it's a thing that I have to accept that is a problem now.
How many pops do you have?
I think at least 100.
Jesus Christ.
But dude, listen to this, right? So one of these I bought for $20 retail price. Okay. Now it's worth $300. Like, I figure the thing that I tell myself before I go to sleep, without just staring into the void, wondering why I'm doing this, it's like, if they start to fall out of popularity, I can just hard sell all of them and make some mad profit.
You could. I mean, that's what I did with manga too. I sold Phoenix.
I've looked into that a couple times.
It's not good. People. I think this is the thing, and I'm sure I'm sure that you'll understand this, is that especially with manga and anime, when things go out of print, it becomes like this sought out, coveted item. Yeah. When maybe it's a solid 6 or 7.
Bro, like, I had to pull the trigger on Battle Royale the other day. And like, I've been putting it off for so long, because like every time I look, it's like $500 for the 2 that are out of print. I'm like, bro, that's ridiculous.
I did not like the Battle Royale translation.
I haven't dug into them yet, I can say, but I have all 5 of them finally.
You got the hardcovers.
Yeah.
Oh, spook.
Yeah.
That's a
buckler. I got a good enough deal where I felt it was justified, because I could sell them for triple the price, maybe. Okay. So I was happy with that. Like, I know I kind of like pay attention to how much things usually go for. And then I'm like, okay, if I can get it for this much lower than that, I can justify it, because I can always sell it back.
My secret is Facebook Marketplace, and just constantly change my location.
See, I got like 4 series off this guy one time for like $200 for everything. Like, these are like long ass series that I'd never heard of, but I'm like, all right. I kind of just did like a little research beforehand. Like, how much do these sell for on eBay? Just the series itself. And I'm like, oh, I can make mad profit if these series suck. Like, if I read them and I just hate them, I can just sell them and make way more than I paid.
Someone sold me the Gantz anime, both box sets, No Longer Human, and the Old Boy manga for $55, and I turned around and sold the No Longer Human for like $300.
Yeah. So, one thing, can I just straight up say, Old Boy manga, but I hate the ending.
Yes.
It's so good, and then like the middle hits, and it's so boring, and then the ending is terrible.
It drags so much out.
Yeah,
so much out. And it's just
I was so disappointed.
Like I was super hyped up when I found out it was a manga.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I was so pumped. I'm like, bro, that's like one of my favorite movies.
I love that movie, dude.
Yeah, I liked it like halfway through, and then it's just like the same thing over and over. Bro, you gotta remember. I don't fucking remember. You gotta remember. I don't remember. And it's like, oh yeah, I did this because of this.
Someone bought that for like $200.
Yeah, nuts.
So
absolutely nuts. But
yeah, that's is that the only example of an movie based on a manga that's better than the manga?
I think like it's the only one I've come across. So like I'm doing like a huge series on like live action stuff based on manga.
Good.
Like I've probably spent way too much money on live action manga adaptations. Like I have at least 200 now. It's getting out of control.
There's that many?
Yes. Like I will take a picture of my shelf and send it to you after we're done talking.
Okay.
If you remind me. And like
shit.
there's a lot. A lot.
200 movies?
Yeah, there's even more that I don't have. Like I have a huge list of like series that I have written down that I haven't even like looked into buying.
I would suggest
Ichi the Killer because the manga is
already on top of it, bro. Already on top of it.
Nuts.
Yeah, did you know there's a prequel movie too? And it's
Yep.
It looks. I haven't watched it yet, but it looks not good. I've kind of skimmed through it.
It is not very good.
It looks not good.
Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, well, not the prequel. I've read the prequel manga, but I haven't seen the movie.
You haven't seen the original movie?
Like I have Ichi the Killer, and I've watched that, but I have not watched the prequel movie. Okay. Is what I'm trying to say.
Ichi the Killer is such a good movie.
Yeah, it's great. I feel like if the first time you watch it without like reading the manga or anything, I feel like it's kind of confusing because like you just have to. It goes so fast, but like if you have watched it at least once or you've read the manga, it makes it's so much more enjoyable.
Ichi is just such a he looks like such a wholesome man. Mm-hmm. And he is far from a wholesome man. It's absolutely wild.
Yeah, it's bonkers.
So what's the one that surprised you the most? Live action based on
the thing is I still have to watch so many of them, but out of the ones that I've watched so far, the first Cutie Honey I actually really enjoyed. It's super corny though. Yeah, super corny.
Directed by Hideaki Anno?
Not sure.
Okay,
not sure. But whichever one came out first, like there's two of them, but whichever one came out first, it's actually like, because I watched the manga after reading, I'm like, whoa, what? Like this manga is way outdated.
The manga sucks, dude.
Yeah, it's not good.
Awful. It's
not
awful.
good.
That's the only thing out of that classic collection that I was just like, ugh, yikes, no.
Like, I really liked the Alita one that came out recently because I read the manga before seeing it, and like it's actually pretty good as far as like a Hollywood adaptation would go.
I thought honestly, I didn't think Ghost in the Shell was that bad.
I rewatched it the other day, and I don't. It's not as good as I remember it being the first time, but I'd still say it's like a solid 6.
How do you feel about the whole whitewashing controversy?
I think it's stupid, honestly. Like, I've just kind of always like when I watch anime, like I don't necessarily picture them being Japanese unless they straight up say, "Oh, hey, I'm Japanese." So like when it comes to cyborgs in particular, I feel like it's so like a gray area. Like, for instance, like take the Death Note movie, for instance, right? Like they had a black guy play L. And I'll right off the bat, I don't give a shit unless he can play the character right. Like if he can do the character well, I'm all happy. I don't care who plays it. They can give a lady? I don't care. It can be anybody as long as they do the character justice. Yeah. But the guy sucked. So like, it's just so disappointing. But as far as Scarlett Johansson goes, it's like, dude, she's a cyborg. Why do you care?
Also, like it never states her ethnicity in the manga or the show.
Yeah, like I guess she has a Japanese name, but dude, I could have a kid tomorrow and name him Sasuke, and you think I'm gonna be like, oh, he has to be Japanese? No, he's my freaking child.
He's my white child.
Yeah, like you can name anybody anything. Like I don't know. Yeah, people just like. I think that's one of the stupidest things to be angry about. Honestly,
whitewashing.
Yeah. Like, I get why people are mad, but I think when it comes to, like, entertainment, it's a stupid thing to get picky about.
I mean, also, to be fair, Ghost in the Shell is supposed to be, it's based off a city it's loosely based on Hong Kong. So,
yeah, but, like, take, like, for instance, there's Japanese movies of Attack on Titan, right?
Yeah.
So, if you're familiar with Attack on Titan, a lot of the characters are meant to be, like, kind of like German.
European, yeah.
Yeah, but everyone in that movie is a Japanese actor. Like, should I be pissed about that?
No,
it's stupid. Like, I don't care.
as long as the movie's good, I don't give a
Yeah,
fuck.
as long as the character's good, as long as the actor can do a good job and like portray the character they're supposed to be, like I don't really care.
Was it Valkyrie in the Thor comics is a white person? Is like a white girl, and in the movie she's black.
Like,
and
who cares?
She did a great job. She
Yeah, like
killed
if you can own that role, it doesn't matter like what your ethnicity is. It's the stupidest thing to like complain about.
Oh God, I'm trying to think of something I don't know. I don't get triggered by a lot of stuff. People get really triggered by a lot of stuff. So it's one of those things where it's just like, I don't know. I just read manga and watch anime to enjoy the shit. I don't sit there and be like, oh, this talks about the ethnical treatment of this group or animals. I'm just like, what?
Like, I think it's always interesting to see what like different like taboo themes that like entertainment explores. But I don't necessarily like dock off points if they don't, or if they do it too much or anything like that.
Now here's one, because I think this is probably the best movies based on a manga I can think of, is the Kenshin films.
So I haven't watched them yet because I haven't read the manga, and I kind of want to do like back to back when I do. Okay. But they're actually coming out with 2 more movies, so I'm kind of putting it off until like I can get all 5. Yeah, I was looking into it, and they're going to be putting out 2 more this year apparently.
Probably.
So there's going to be 5 instead of 3.
They're good movies, but how do you
That's what I've heard.
Separating the art from the artist?
I think that's also a very important thing to do. Like, obviously, I've heard that the mangaka who made that was kind of a scumbag in some pedophilic ways, but it's really hard to say, because like I feel like for instance Kevin Spacey, he does some great work in a lot of different movies. Amazing. But I can say like, hey, this guy is a great actor, but like outside as a person, he might not be the best guy. Like, and like I'm okay with that.
You're gonna tell me that 7 is not a good movie?
No, 7's fucking like exactly. 7 is fantastic. He does a great job in American Beauty. So many more. And it's like
Netflix show. He was great.
Yeah, House of Cards.
Yeah, House of
I
Cards.
watched that for a long time, but I never finished it.
I mean, Harvey Weinstein's a piece of shit, but he funded a lot of Quentin Tarantino's movies. So
yeah, like it's one of those things where you do have to separate art from artists. Like, you know, blame them based on their actions, but like don't ostracize their creative endeavors because of it, because they're 2 separate mediums. It's not like that represents him.
Yeah,
because he's playing a character or funding movies or whatever you wanted to call it.
There's a YouTuber. Do you know who Base Senpai is?
I'm pretty sure he's in your little manga collecting community.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, he's but he's purely just like, he's really knows his shit on the series that he's read. He like, I feel like he would be a huge YouTuber if he took the time to edit videos and actually like write stuff out, because he is super smart and he's got a great voice. He's talented, but he got kicked out of a Discord because he was defending separate the art from the artist, and they were like, the dude's a pedophile. And he's like, okay, I don't like pedophilia, but I like Rurouni Kenshin. And
I don't know, it's so stupid to get mad about.
For me, I did struggle with it because now I'm a parent. You know what I mean? So it's just like, that was a little rough, but at the same time, I think Kenshin is a great series. So.
Well, the thing is, like, with when you have like an artist making something, it's like that thing, you know, it really doesn't match who they are as a person. Like, unless they're doing like an autobiography, and that's what you're like trying to be like, oh, look at everything great he's done in this autobiography of his own life. Like, sure, you can judge all of that because that is literally him. But if you're making a story, and just because he's done things outside in the real world that are terrible, you shouldn't say, oh, I can't read that now. Like, they're separate entities. Just don't, like, if you're really that mad about it, like, just don't buy it. Like, read scans. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, don't support it. Don't give them money.
Just don't support it. Yeah, that's why I bought Kenshin secondhand.
Yeah, so, exactly. Like, you can still appreciate the art just fine outside of the person who made it.
Now, who do you? So, how did you get into anime and manga? Let's go there instead of before we get canceled.
Heck yeah. I ain't scared. Like, I'm allowed to have an opinion.
You're a lot bigger than me, so I would probably definitely be ended.
Well, dude, if anybody wants to like just be like, hey, you're not a good person for reading a manga that was made by somebody who's not good, like, come on.
That's true.
But I don't know, to each their own. Like, all right, yeah, you're right. We should move on. The heat is coming off my face.
The heat is on.
But as far as like I got into anime and manga and stuff, I've kind of like always been interested in it. Like I have vague memories of watching like Sailor Moon and Inuyasha when I was like very, very young.
Inuyasha,
and but like when I really got into it, obviously like as a kid, you don't really know it's anime, but like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! I was huge into Yu-Gi-Oh! Specifically, and Pokemon like not quite as much, but a lot at the same time. Like
I was
Pokemon came first.
Digimon was red.
Yeah, I never got into Digimon myself, but as far as like taking like the deep dive is when Naruto started on Toonami.
Yep.
Like I watched that every single Saturday for the longest time. And that's like what got me into it heavy. Like I started getting those monthly Shonen Jumps that were coming out around those times. I think before Naruto, they were airing a couple episodes of One Piece, but I never really got like super into it when I was young. Like I definitely liked it, but I didn't like follow it as religiously as Naruto. So then I also got really into Bleach. So basically the big three is kind of what did it for me. But in high school, I fell off hard until like my senior year when I was introduced to an illegal anime streaming site so I could actually watch it.
Was it Crunchyroll back in those days?
No, it was Kiss Anime, the best one. No cap. But so a friend of mine was like, hey, you need to watch this episode. And it was the first episode of Attack on Titan. And like, I ended up getting sick with the flu, like literally the next day. So I just binged the whole thing in my bed. And I thought it was great, but I didn't think it was as good as he was making it out to be. And I still believe that to this day, that the first season of Attack on Titan, just like the first time you watch it, people were blowing that way out of proportion.
It's so weird that like out of all things, because that show's that whole story is very abstract. Mm-hmm. And when that became like, my parents knew what it was. It was such a household name. Yeah, not to say the word normies, but normies were loving it.
Mm-hmm. And like,
I was like, wow.
Having been caught up to it now, like in the manga, I can safely say that I was so wrong about it being overrated. Like it's going to be a modern classic. It's going to be a modern classic.
So good. Okay, so here's the other thing. There's people out there that are like, Attack on Titan is it's all about fascism and it's pro-Nazi regime. And how do you feel about that? I disagree. Like I had someone on, I'm not going to name him because I don't want people to go hate on her because she is actually a great person. But she's someone that you could have a disagreement with, and it was very civil. We had a complete like hour conversation about how we both disagreed. But I don't understand that aspect.
Obviously, I think, like they're taking inspiration from history, and a lot of those things are very relevant in those times of history. But that doesn't make the manga itself or the author making it like a fascist or anything along those lines, or a Nazi or whatever you want to call them. Like just because you're exploring those taboo aspects doesn't like translate to, oh, these are his beliefs. Because it's very opposite of that. If you actually read it and like listen to what they're trying to say, hey, this shit is fucking whack. Like, no, don't do that again.
Dude, I love this is Attack on Titan in both Gans. Characters start out that I fucking hate them. And by the end, not with Eren, but with Kai from Gans, I love them. Eren, I could not stand. And now I'm like, holy fuck. Eren is like a monster.
He pulled out the reverse Uno card on all of our expectations.
Dude, it's insane. The growth, the writing is so goddamn good. God damn it. I regret selling Attack on Titan. I need to go find it.
Yeah. I wish they would put out like a hardcover or something of it. Cause I have a couple like random volumes, but I would so much rather have
season 4 is supposed to come out this year. I don't think it's going to come out now.
It might. You never know. I mean, also, I think it was supposed to be later in the year anyways.
Did they ever say if it was Studio Wit that was doing it?
Not that I'm aware of. I think it's still up in the air, or at least no, they haven't announced it to my knowledge.
That is wild to me that they still haven't announced it. That's absolutely insane.
Yeah, but I think basically on that point, like whenever it comes to arguments, I like to listen to what the other side is saying to be like, okay, I understand why you think that, but it's still whack. Or maybe they'll be able to show me why I'm being whack. You know what I mean? I feel like enough people don't listen. But with that argument in particular, I think, at least for Attack on Titan's case, they're trying to do the opposite of what people are claiming it to be. They're just not reading between the lines or reading what's right in front of them, for that matter.
That's such a good series, dude.
Yeah, it's going to be a modern classic. Probably going to be in my top 10 favorites by the time it's over. Like the last however many months have been crazy.
Do you think it's like a chapter or two away?
I'd say no more than 5, or like give or take, because I feel like, what's happening right now, maybe they'll have like 1 or 2 more chapters of like getting all that figured out without spoiling anything for the people listening. And then that's probably when it's going to come down to like the quote unquote final conflict, or like whatever's going to happen with that. It's going to happen.
Dude.
It's going to be done before the year's out. I know that. I'm
going to get a tattoo of Aaron on my body if that ends well.
I don't have a tattoo, but I feel like if I were to get one, it'd probably be the, what's it called? The brand of sacrifice.
Yeah, dude, Berserk's my favorite thing in the entire world.
Yeah, it's my second favorite at this point.
What's your first?
One Piece. I'm a shonen scrub. What can I say?
Okay, that's fine. I mean, at least it's not Naruto. I think Naruto is trash. So,
I think the ending is trash.
I think all of it is bad.
I'm not a Boruto stan. I haven't given that a chance yet, but I have Naruto to thank for like getting me back into everything.
Yeah, I mean,
so at the very least, I have to respect it.
Attack on Titan was that for me. Was getting back into anime too. It was like I was like, I took time off. I still like watched. Like I would still rewatch like Cowboy Bebop and Standalone Complex.
No, continue. Sorry,
but my friend was like, "Dude, you gotta watch Attack on Titan." And I remember being at the gym, and I think I binged the entire show in one gym session.
Dang.
I used to work out 5 to 6 hours a night, so that wasn't like super out of the ordinary for me. I used to be absolutely jacked to the gills. But
can't
now
relate.
I at my height I benched 455 pounds was my max bench. So kind of like Brian.
Yeah,
me and Brian are both midgets and we're both super strong. So I'm like 5'6". So
I'm 5'7", so I'm with you guys.
Yeah, my wife is taller than me. So
I'm 1 inch taller than my girlfriend.
People used to make fun of me, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck anymore, dude.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like the thing with me is I've always had like medium to long hair. Like right now with this quarantine and barbershops being closed, I think I can finally get past the point I hate to just grow it out. That's what I want to do, but we'll see what happens. But
I used to have great hair, dude, and then I started losing it. So during quarantine, it just got weird looking. Like the sides are poofier and the top's like thinning. So I shaved my head, and now I can like the sides are growing in nice. The top has got no hair, so I'm bald now.
But like on the Midwest topic, right? Like one of the most Midwest things you hear is people you don't even know just going, "You need a haircut."
Oh,
like
my
people
God.
You don't even know, or like people you don't want to talk to. It's like, dude, why do you care? Like, what does it matter? It's like just hearing that all
shave
throughout
your
my
beard.
life.
Shave your beard. Like
hearing that all throughout my life has just conditioned me, especially with YouTube comments. Like you just get such a thick shell. It's just like everything's funny. Nothing is ever like hurtful anymore.
I love stuff that triggers older Midwestern people.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I love it, dude. I love just leading. Like I got my nose ring. The amount of unwanted comments from old Midwest people. I've never seen a boy with a nose ring. It's like you're about to get fucked in the ass by one. So, like,
yeah, it's just one of those things. Like you just learn to not care.
Yeah, that's 100% true. You learn to not give a fuck, but I still give a fuck deep down.
I feel like I don't really anymore. At least like I don't know.
I was 340 pounds for 10 years of my life, and I still have that in my mind, even though I'm not. Like I've gained weight since meeting my wife and having a baby, because you gain baby weight when that happens. I've gained weight. It's just a weird, like it's like an ego thing. It's like, do I lose weight and lose muscle mass, or do I work out enough to maintain my strength? Because that takes a lot of work. It's like I can't do both.
Yeah, and
I also really like food.
Same.
So, and I make Italian food every day. So it's like, of course I'm gonna be making ravioli and then having 6. You know?
Yeah.
have an order here or there. And by the way, if you ever are in the area, food is on me, dude.
Oh, we shall see. I'll sneak in. I'll pay, and then I'll be like, "What up?"
Well, right now we're not allowing people in, so you just be waiting.
Dude, I ain't leaving this house, bro.
Oh, dude, it's scary out there, man.
Yeah, like I have like a pathway near my house, and like I see like kind of like a trail. I mean, and like I see people like walking on it all the time. If I look up under them, like, guys, why aren't you inside? Like
Why don't you
everyone's
wear
just like out and about. So weird.
Our state just passed a law that starting May 1st, it's illegal to leave your house without a mask.
Dang. I wish my governor out here.
You know, people give Pritzker
moves.
shit, but I think our governor's handled this situation pretty great. So
Can't relate.
can't relate.
Can't relate.
At least you guys don't have beaches like in Florida where people are just going and.
Well, I mean, there is beaches somewhat nearby to an extent. It's not a good beach. You shouldn't go there.
I've never heard of Iowa. I've never thought of Iowa and their beaches before. That's
well, just like Illinois, like we are along the Mississippi for part of the state, and that's the state that I'm somewhat close to that area. So like there are like you can call it a beach, but it's dirty ass water.
I feel like beaches that aren't near an ocean, like a lake beach or a river beach, are nasty.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
That's where people like wash their asses in the middle of.
Can't do it. Get that away from me.
What is your top 5 favorite manga of all time?
See, I always fluctuate with like my top 10, but I know for sure my top 3 are One Piece, Berserk, and then Hunter x Hunter.
Okay. You say the X.
I do. I'm one of the few that don't care.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a unique breed.
Mine's
Berserk, Gantz, Blade of the Immortal, and then right now I'm loving Blam again.
Man, I recently just had to like make everything in my brain Blade of the Immortal, and it's like I have steam coming out my ears from the cogs that have to turn. It's so great. It's so great.
So good, dude.
It's like
the movie.
It's okay. It's not bad.
The opening scene where it's in black and white is good.
I feel like the problem with it is it's just kind of like, oh, we just need to rinse and repeat, battles. So like we're gonna do this quick. Oh, then we're gonna have a big fight. Then we're gonna do this quick, have a big fight, and just the whole movie is just that. And it's like they try to cram so much into it that it's like it's so rushed feeling after a certain point. So
just like the new anime.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I made like a really big video about it because I was kind of like basically comparing to something. Yeah, it's like an hour 20 something, but I was basically just comparing the manga to the film, be like, what's the same, what's different, is it good? But the main reason I wanted to do it because that anime was coming out, and like I heard like, oh, it's going to be a complete adaptation, this is going to be great. And no, it's not. It's okay, but it's kind of like skipping over so much of the meat that it's just not even worth it.
That's the thing is I was super pumped when I got announced, and then I was super let down.
Yeah,
it's so bad.
Because like I remember watching the first 2 episodes, and I was like, bro, they're cramming like how many chapters into these? This is insane. Like they should really be like actually focusing on what's going on instead of just like skipping through it. And every single episode is like that. Like episode 14 is adapting stuff from chapter 95. Like what? How do you cram 95 chapters into 14 episodes? Like you just skip over so much to make it happen.
I think that show would have been perfect if it was 50 episodes.
I think I could go for that too. I feel like if 50 episodes, they can actually focus on some stuff. Like they can obviously skip around a couple things, but like in the movie's case, what they did is they adapt a lot of the first arc, and then they just like, okay, well, we also need to do the second arc, but they like just throw things at you, and none of it like has any depth like it does in the manga. Yeah. Like there's that whole fight where he's trying to get the Tagada, right? And he comes out across those 3 dudes. In the movie, they just kind of like, oh, hey, he's walking along. Oh, 3 dudes, gotta fight him. Okay, that's it.
Also, I not to shit on the actor. I think he just loses some of the nuance that Manji has.
Yeah, he's not sarcastic enough.
Yeah,
he's just very like grumpy in the movie, whereas in the manga, he's kind of like really witty a lot of the times. I don't know if witty's the right word.
Manji in the manga, I would love to go to the bar with and have a drink. Manji in the movie, I just don't want to hang out with. Like,
yeah, he's just like a Scrooge, basically. It's a good word to put it.
Yeah, that franchise, and then there's a new manga too, right?
There's like a sequel that just recently came out. It's not by the same author. Like it got his blessing, but it's being written and drawn by 2 different people.
That's wild.
I read it, and it's kind of
a
lot. Do I need to hang on a second? I'll get him quiet.
No. It's It's totally fine. I just at first I was like, is that a kid?
No, it's a cat.
How many cats do you have?
7.
Holy fuck, dude! My wife would love that. She wants a cat so bad.
Yeah, I love cats, but 7 is a little much. It wasn't meant to be this way.
It wasn't.
Like I had 2, and my girlfriend had 3. So when we moved in together, there's 5. But 2 of them, like, oh my god, hang on a second. I'm just gonna go ahead and give him some treats so he be's quiet. I'll be like literally a minute.
All right.
Entertain the chat.
Okay. Yo, chat, what's going on, guys? Geeky, hello. Onyx, Mare, Drago, Toledo, everyone, Dylan. I love you guys so much. Thanks for tuning in tonight at 4:30 in the morning. It's a little fucking wild. That's 4 in the morning. Is Blam like Biomega? Blam is a lot like Biomega. Less words than Biomega. Yeah. So I love everybody. I love all of you. Geeky rocks. Geeky is amazing. Dylan is amazing as well. Dylan is really bad at texting. Neon is here too. Neon, the king of hentai. Neon, I love you. I didn't even know that you were in here, dude. What's going on? Dylan's really bad at texting. I'll text him and I'll be like, oh, Dylan died. And then 4 hours later, Dylan's like, oh no, I'm here. I love you too. Cody, what's going on, man? How's it going? Dude, this is a great episode. I've been wanting to talk to Spook for a while, or 2Spooky, because I think Spook is a racial term. I should just say Spook.
Sorry about that. I kind of forget that my cat can like be heard through my mic because he's not in the room. But
You're all good. You're all good.
Yeah, he does that sometimes.
See, my wife really wants a cat, and I'm like, I don't know. But we went to the shelter and I fell in love with one that had one eye, and then when we went to go adopt it, it was already adopted.
F. The latest cat we got is well, I guess we got 2. Basically, what happened was, 2 of her cats absolutely hate one of my cats to the point where like blood is being flung about. So like we have to keep them separate.
Jesus
so
Christ.
Yeah, it's not good. But we ended up getting a kitten that we named Guts. But the first day he was in the shelter, like apparently he was really sick, so they couldn't like have him in like the cages to like look at and, you know, handle him and everything. So his first day out was the day he got adopted with us. And then there was this stray that literally looks exactly like Guts, right? Looks exactly like him. So I thought like he got out one night because I was driving home. There's just this cat in the middle of the street. I'm like, bro, how did you get out of the house? But it's not him. But we ended up catching him. And now we have Guts and Griffith.
That's
so.
Yeah. Dude,
so it wasn't meant to happen. No, Guts is like, he loves everybody and all the cats. So like they all just get along. But Griffith doesn't like one of the other cats, but they don't like, they're tame enough to where it's okay. Like they're starting to just ignore each other.
Speaking about getting along, you're the only bigger YouTuber that interacts with smaller channels.
What can I say?
You sub to like everyone, like, dude. And by the way, when you sub to people, they'll message me in the group and they'll like flip shit. They're like, oh my god.
I mean, like, I don't know. It's one of those weird things where like, I don't know. I feel people in YouTube, especially like in anime YouTube, at a certain point, they get kind of a big ego, and like, oh, yeah. I don't know. People care about numbers way too much. It's kind of sad.
I learned that firsthand about Digibro.
I haven't interacted with him or anything, but I've heard some stories.
He posted a video about mecha anime, and he's like, here's some underrated mecha anime, and I consider myself a mecha expert. And he proceeds to list like out of the 7 shows he listed, 4 were like absolutely massive shows. And I was just like, so I just wrote on Twitter, I disagree with Digibro. You know, those shows are not underrated at all. He must have searched his name because he found me, commented, and then his goons came and attacked me, and I got harassed for like a week.
That's nuts.
By Digibro's fan base. I was like, wow, this is awesome. I'm loving this attention. Thank you guys. But yeah, he would have a conversation with me. I was like, I sent him, like, I replied to his comment, and it was a question, and he never replied. So And then he subtweeted and was like, if you're going to talk shit about me, I am egocentric enough to say. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, I try to just like, I'm one of those people who just in general is very like, to themselves. So like, I really only interact with people if they like reach out to me type of person. Or like, I don't really go out of my way to socially interact with a lot of people. But when it comes to like just subscribing to like smaller channels and all that, like I just like to watch a lot of YouTube, right? So whether it doesn't matter what size they are, like if I like the video, like that's what I'm interested in. So like I had for a while there, like I just really liked watching people's like collection videos. I was like obsessed. I just like to know like what people have, what they recommend, all that jazz. So like I just got really into it. Like I got down a wormhole, you could say. A subclass of the anime community, the manga collection community. Like I've heard you guys call yourself Manga Tube a lot, but I feel like it's more like Manga Collection Tube.
Well, that's the thing is that 90% of the content is collection videos or hauls. Me, Brian, and Alex and Zach have all kind of been like, we don't like doing hauls because it's just like everyone's picking up the same shit. You know what I mean? Like at a certain point, everyone's getting the same manga. Mm-hmm. But I do think people watch my haul videos, not to toot my own horn, is because I like such obscure, weird shit.
Yeah, and
it's like, hey, here's Cybercop, a tokusatsu show where they use a payphone to transform. Here's the DVD box set. It's like people don't know a lot about that stuff. So like I'm the only one on my friends group who is, I don't have it on hand, but like who's obsessed with the Ultraman manga and reading it. And I like it's nice to, I don't know, it's nice to pick up stuff that's not as well known.
Yeah, I kind of like that too. Just like having things that people, like a lot of people don't know about. Like it's really obscure, but like you can feel like, oh, I was one of the only people to give this the time of the day, as far as I know, at least. And like it's interesting to figure out like what those things are just by like it's completely out of this perspective. Like if I were to come in and be like, all right, I don't even know what tokusatsu is, and this guy's over here listing off all these things, like I feel like I learned something today.
So how did you find my channel?
Probably your collection video, I'd imagine.
Okay.
I'm fairly confident that's the one. I think you had like a Halo mask in the thumbnail.
Yeah.
That's the one. That's the one thing I remember about it. I feel like I think it's been recommended to me at least more than once.
That's my most viewed video, and I think that's the second video I ever made.
Dang.
I just was like, hey, here's my manga collection. I don't know. The YouTube algorithm has been good to me. I know people who literally do exactly what I do, and just didn't like. I remember my first video got like 200 views in 24 hours, and I thought that was like incredible. And now, I hit 4,000 subscribers in 13 months. I think is what it was, 13, 14 months.
Nuts.
I was super proud of that. Like and I feel really confident about that. It's something. But at the same time, I don't edit. I literally put my phone on a tripod. I stand in front of a shelf and I tell people my thoughts. I think people are more at my content for personality than the actual content.
Yeah, like when it comes to YouTube, a lot of things I've I have like a huge list of like things that I could tell anybody who's interested in learning about YouTube, right? But I feel like when it comes to making videos, there's like 3 types of channels, right? There's those who are like personality based. There are those who like are topic or information based, and then there's those in the middle that kind of do both. Like everything can fall under those 3 categories. So like for you, I would say it's probably more personality based, and like the topics kind of flow into that sometimes. Like you kind of branch into the middle, but I wouldn't say you're like purely a topic based person.
No, it's just because I like so much shit. I'm so interested in so many things that's why I named myself Flip Otaku, and not like because I like most of the entertainment I consume is Japanese based. So I didn't want to like be just an anime tuber or just a manga. Like I know people who have manga in their name, and it's like I didn't want to pigeonhole myself into that. Not that it's bad or anything, but also I don't know. I feel like I have no friends who like the shit I like. So it's like my poor wife. I make her watch Toku, and she is just like, I think you're on the spectrum. Like you're weird, and she can only handle so much. But yeah, it's a pretty tight knit little group of people. It's cool. It's cool that people like you reach out to us. because like there's people like you for Neverworld. Who's the dude that just sits on his bed? Tekken.
Oh, Tekken.
Tekken's
Tekken's great. Tekken's one of my. Tekken, like I'm so jealous that he's able to just sit down without a script and just talk. Like I wish I had that superpower.
That's what I want to do. That's what I eventually want to do, but for Mecha and Toku.
Mm-hmm.
Just
he and I are in like a One Piece D&D thing right now. It's a lot of fun.
Is he a cool dude?
Dude, he's great. Every interaction I've had with Tekken has been like top tier interaction. He's a great guy.
Is he as weird? Like in a good way?
Him on camera is literally himself.
That's awesome, dude. I love people that are themselves.
Yeah, like he is the definition of himself on camera.
That's awesome, though. I mean,
like on and off.
And I think that's why, again, I hate talking about myself, but I am 100% me.
Mm-hmm.
On like when I'm doing a live stream at 4 a.m. and me and Zach are talking about scat porn, which that turned very weird. Or like yesterday, I got up and walked to the bookshelf and I forgot I was in my underwear and everyone just saw my dick and balls. Yeah, I think people, and plus now I'm friends with everyone. Also, like Kiki, Dylan, everyone in the chat. Like Mare talks to me on Twitter quite a bit.
I find that live streams are the best way to interact with like any community. Like I do 100%. Live streams on Twitch sometimes. Like even just editing streams, where like it's the most boring, monotonous content you could ever watch, but just like people chatting with you the whole time. It just makes it that much like more interesting, and like you're not bored, you stay on task. But just like the people that show up, it's like, bro, what's up?
Like it's 4:30 in the morning. We have 15 people. Like that's just wild.
It's crazy. Like the fact that anybody ever shows up to my live streams, I'm like, this is the best.
Have you ever seen me poop on camera?
No, I can't say that I have.
So I was doing before Corona did. It was a weekly manga hunt video where I would go to Barnes and Nobles. And I would live stream myself at a Barnes and Nobles. And the first time I quit the live stream because I had to take a shit. And second time I was like, well, guys, I think I'm going to end it early because I got to take a shit. And they were like, just film yourself. So I just went in the bathroom, live on camera, 60 people.
Oh my God.
We're watching. I think I made like $100. Someone gifted me money.
Dude, just imagine the guy in the stall next to you just listening to you talk to chat the whole time. Like, the fuck?
What the fuck? What's a One Piece? What is this guy doing? What is a haiku? What is going on? But my Barnes and Noble is rocking with manga.
Yeah, I don't have a Barnes and Noble myself. Jesus I think Christ. Books A Million's all I got.
We don't have a Books A Million around here.
It's okay. It's not that great. That's the only used bookstore, like place that sells used books around here, besides like from a pawn shop or something.
Pawn shops? Oh, I've never been to one.
So nope. If I want anything, I have to drive like 2 hours away.
What's your favorite anime?
Well, I kind of put One Piece and its anime and manga like together in one. But, like the anime for it definitely has some rough spots, but overall, like I'd say that's my favorite.
I've never sat down and watched One Piece like seriously, so I can't say that. I would say probably, and I'm gonna tie this into something that you tweeted out. One of my favorite anime is 10 out of 10 Standalone Complex. Original.
So I was actually gonna I meant to ask this earlier when you first brought it up, but we got talking about something else. Did you watch the new Standalone Complex?
I watched 2 episodes.
It's so hard in the first couple to get used to it.
I don't like the opening.
I actually did.
I just don't think it fits that world. You know?
Yeah, it's kind of like very different, but I don't know. I think it had like a nice rhythm to it. So like I was just like, yeah, I can bump to this. But I mean, it kind of just seemed like a Borderlands game, honestly. Like I felt like I was watching like every cutscene from a Borderlands Ghost in the Shell game, basically. Like I'm watching the cutscenes, but like I don't get to play. That's what it felt like.
I just like some of it is cool, but like the mouse, like the words don't sync up with the mouse.
Yeah, I noticed that too. It's kind of weird.
The biggest off-putting thing for me. I was like, ugh. I could probably get past the art style to a certain point, but it was the mouth movements. I was like, no.
Yeah, it took some time. I think I started liking it as soon as like, I don't know. iPatchWolf tweeted out a clip of it today where there's like a dude like flipping around who's naked. Once it got to that part, it's kind of like where I'm like, all right, I see where they're going with this. But that was like episode 3 or 4, or maybe I think it was 4. But 4 episodes to like really get things moving. I don't know. That was kind of rough for me. And I mean, like, nobody cares about like Boma or Pazu in the standalone complex crew, but it was just so weird to like just have them pop in later and not do anything the rest of the time.
That is a really bad clip. Jesus Christ, dude.
Dude, I loved it personally. I thought it was great. Like, without like really spoiling it, since you're not, I don't know if you like plan to watch it or you care or anything.
You can tell me.
But basically, like the whole like quote unquote plot is that humans basically like have evolved. Like there's a new type of human called a post-human. So like the idea is basically that like since like cyber brains are like linked up to a network, randomly some people just like evolve, right? So like the whole thing with that guy is like he could see any form of like attack coming before they did it, so he could just dodge everything, right? So it looked really stupid, but like that's kind of like the whole plot that they get to. Like they're like, oh, we need to figure out who these fucking post-humans are and capture them, so like we can figure out what the fuck is going on. Like that's the whole plot basically.
So
once
his
it gets
defense
going,
mechanism is the backflip.
yeah, dude, it's so wacko, but it's like I don't know, I kind of liked it. It's definitely like my least favorite standalone complex out of the 3 so far. Like there's going to be another season of this one, I guess, so I can't like fully say that yet, but
okay, so you rated it a 5 out of 10.
yeah, I would probably just give it like a solid okay. It was okay, basically. Like it's not the worst, it's not the best, it's okay. I'll give it a chance.
I'll give it a second chance. I just
like it's not going to be like Laughing Man level at any point. I can tell you that right now. But it's not the worst. It's okay. It's just like middle of the road, just junk.
It's so sad because Standalone Complex is fucking such a good show. First season.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
And the Laughing Man is just might be the best villain of all time.
Big words.
That's dude.
But yeah, I would say like I don't know. The only reason I was like really implied to watch it is just because I've seen like so many other Ghost in the Shell things. Like I think I liked it more than Arise this new season. I didn't like Arise that much.
I didn't like Arise either. It was so weird.
Yeah, it just didn't feel right. It's like what's going on? Like why did they need to do this?
How did you feel about season 2, second gig?
I kind of fell asleep, honestly. I don't remember much about it.
And then did you watch Solid State Society?
I don't know if I did. Hold up.
That was like a movie set in that.
Solid State Society. Maybe I don't think I did.
It's like a standalone film, I think. But yeah, I mean,
I didn't.
Ghost in the Shell as a franchise is like one of those. It's like Psycho-Pass. There's a lot of things that I love, and the things I love, but a lot of the stuff that's okay is just okay to not good at all.
Yeah. It's kind of weird because like I remember reading the Ghost in the Shell manga, and it's like so different compared to like what the movie is. So like when people were criticizing the live action film based on the animated film, I'm like, guys, do you even realize where this came from? Like I remember specifically that one weird scene with her on the boat is like some weird lesbian thing happening. Yeah. It's like, bro, like how is this even like related to Ghost in the Shell? Like this is where it came from. What?
And then in the movie, the live action, it took parts of Standalone Complex and the original movie and blended it together. I thought they did a pretty good job. Like the whole androids at the very beginning, you know what I'm talking about, where they're killing the businessmen.
Yeah.
God, that scene in Standalone Complex, that's the first episode, right?
I think so.
That's such a good first episode of a show.
Yeah. I liked all the little nods throughout it. Like you could tell that they cared enough to like just throw things in there for the fans. Like the fact that like in the second movie, Bato has that dog, and like when he's feeding the dogs in the alley, boom, there it is. I'm like, oh, I see you. The thing I didn't like the most about it is like I know in the original animated movie, they didn't like really focus on the other members of Section 9 too much.
Yeah.
But like in the movie specifically, like the live action one, like Togusa, I like him a lot. He didn't do anything. Like he's just there. And yeah, but that's basically it. Like I feel like it's basically just the Major and Bato show. And then it's also so weird. I don't know what the actor's name is, but he played Aramaki in the live action, and he's also like the teacher in Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Like, I guess the reason why he's the only person speaking Japanese is just because he didn't want to learn English for the movie. So they just let it happen. But like, it's so weird. It's like, why speak Japanese to all these people, but they speak English back to you, right?
I think it's
like,
probably, well, you could kind of suspend your disbelief by saying they're all cyberly enhanced.
Oh, like, I totally get that, but like, don't you think they'd at least speak the same language back? Like, if they understand him, wouldn't they at least just reply? And I don't know. That was one thing that I thought was kind of weird, but I get why they did it, I guess, because that's all he wanted to do.
Now, do you like Psycho-Pass?
I've never seen it. I can't say.
Whoa, dude.
Yep. So many things I haven't seen, and it feels bad.
Dude,
it feels very bad.
On that, man. What the fuck?
Bro, I'm out here slaving away in an editing program. It's like my life almost all week.
On what?
An editing program?
Oh, okay. I thought that you said netting program.
Oh no.
So
it's like,
what is the life of a YouTuber? Because you're a YouTuber.
I'm not the best example, because like a lot of YouTubers these days, what they tend to do is like write a script, they record the audio, and then they give it to an editor, right? And then that's all they have to do. And like, for me personally, I don't really like that, because I want things to be a certain way, and I don't really think an editor could match that. Like, I feel like at a certain point, like, it's not really your project anymore.
They pay people to edit all the clips together?
Yeah. Like, it's a very common practice.
Do they even tell them what they want?
I think it depends on the person. Like, I think maybe like they'll have an idea for some parts to be like, oh, hey, maybe you should do this part like this type of thing. But a lot of times, like, they treat it more like a business, where it's just like, oh, I'm just going to get this product out as fast as possible. So as long as it looks decent and like it's kind of what I want, I'm going with it.
How much do editors charge?
It depends, honestly. I feel like a lot of editors get underpaid, which is kind of sad. But depending on their skill level and how big the project is, like, I think $100 for a 10-minute video is like pretty standard.
That's it?
I think so, yeah.
Holy shit.
Like, some do more, some do less, but I think it depends on like how much they actually have to do versus how long it'll take them.
So people like let's say Gigic, do they?
I think he might do his own. I actually don't know for sure, but I'm under the impression that he edits his own videos.
What about let's say, who's someone else?
Like, I know Nux Taku, for instance. He has editors do all his videos.
Nux.
He's a great guy. He's a friend of mine.
Is he good? Is he a good guy?
He's a good guy.
Is he different than his personality on YouTube?
He's a little bit like less eccentric,
Okay.
like off camera, but he still like has a lot of that in there.
I didn't. Is he the one with the whole Funimation thing? Where he was like attacking?
Pretty sure. Like, he did the whole interspecies reviewers fiasco.
Jesus Christ, that was wild.
But he's an example. But like, a lot of people do it. Like, I'm just not one of them. So like, what I do is I spend a lot of time, like, I kind of just try to pour everything into like what the project I'm working on at that time these days. Like, back when I was first starting, it's just kind of like, bro, I'm just going to throw this together and like, I'm going to make it look good. But, you know, looking back on it, it's just mediocre in my opinion. So like, basically, like, getting to what the whole topic was about. For me, I end up spending a lot of time like on a single video and just hoping that it does well. Whereas other people just like, you know, they're uploading constantly, so they get like better performance in the algorithm because of that. Whereas I favor a little better because like I get watch time based on like whatever topic I'm talking about, because usually they're longer videos.
Mm.
So a lot of the week is just spent like stuck in an editing program or like writing a script somehow. Like, the Blade of the Immortal one took me like 3 months. I'm not proud of that, but
3 months.
3 months. Not proud, but it did.
Why aren't you proud about that?
Because I wanted to have it done way sooner. That's why.
Okay.
So like, I expected to have the video done in January just based on like initial impressions, but it takes a long time to like reread the manga and like everything that you're trying to compare to the film. Like, you have to really pay attention to those things. Mm-hmm. So like, it took me like basically a whole month to write the script, just like going through every chapter, picking out all the little things that are like implemented into that. Then you have to record all the audio, which I have a tendency to like record the same line like 3 times each just to make sure I have a good take. So that takes like forever. And then you have all this audio that you have to sift through and like actually put together into a coherent like video, basically. And that's just like the hard part for me, because then it actually comes to the editing, which I like. But getting to that point, there's just like so much other stuff I have to do. So it just takes such a long time. Plus, you know, you got to focus on like, you know, your friends, your family, all that jazz. You got to have a personal life outside of that. It's just super time consuming.
It's a full-time job.
Yeah. Like people, well, depending on how you do it, you know, you don't have a lot of time.
So you could be hiring people out, and
I could, but I don't.
That's good. It's good because you're saving money in the end.
Yeah. Like it takes more time, but I like the way it turns out if I know that like it's what I would imagine, right?
So are you going to school or?
I was a long time ago, but I dropped out because I didn't really know what I wanted to do at the time. Yeah. Like basically what happened was I was going to be getting a factory job, right? But the day that they called me to like say, oh, hey, you got the job, you can come in and do all this stuff, is like the day I had a video take off for the first time and like actually like get like actual money from YouTube, like a full, like the first time they would send you money, like it blew up that day. So I had to be like, all right, either I can take this job and just not have time for YouTube anymore, or I can actually like give this a shot. So I decided to just decline and say like, all right, I'll give this 1 year. I'll work at my shitty job in the meantime. If it fails, I'll go get that job back because it's not really going anywhere. And it all just happened to work out just like that.
Awesome. And now how long have you been doing YouTube full time now?
Since the summer of 2016, so almost 4 years.
Damn. That's awesome.
Yeet.
So congratulations, dude. That's fucking rad.
Thank you,
the
my
dream.
Man. It is the dream.
I would love to be able to not get away from, like, if I could work from home, have the door open, have the kid running around all day, and not have to be away from them. That would be rad as fuck.
Yeah, like there's a lot of things people don't really like understand about working at home at first until they actually do it. But like it has its own like complications. Like for one, you have to be your own boss, which I know you're kind of already your own boss to an extent. So like you could probably manage that time a lot better than I could first starting out. But it's kind of like, well, you have to keep yourself on task. You have to make sure you're doing all this stuff. And like early on, it was a lot easier because I could actually make videos faster. Like I wasn't trying as hard to like make sure like everything is right. Like I'm not fact checking all that jazz. But I don't know. I feel like it's been a good time, and every single day I'm grateful for that I'm able to do it, which is nice.
That's awesome, dude.
Thank you, my man.
I know Zach from Moochie Shelf works from home, and he said it is. He hates it, right? Like he hates it right now because he's working so much. Even me, like when we're closed and I'm like cleaning up, I get so sidetracked. I'll end up watching a funny video on YouTube, just go down a rabbit hole. And I'm like, oh fuck, it's 12:30. I gotta get the fuck out of here.
And like my biggest problem is that I hate editing audio so much that like I will get into the program, I'll like edit like one line, and then I'll just fuck off on Twitter for like a half hour. And I'm like, bro, this is so like I can't keep myself on task. I just hate it so much.
When I'm at home, I don't do shit. Like I'm so lazy when I walk into my home. And luckily, my wife is pretty understanding because she's like, I work so much, and she's a stay-at-home mom and wife, and so her job is to take care of the house. So that sounds sexist. That sounds really bad. But she, we have her thing worked out. She asked me if she could be a stay-at-home mom. I said sure. So we're in a position enough that our daughter is getting one-on-one time constantly. We don't have to waste money on a babysitter or daycare, which is daycare is fucking expensive, dude.
Yeah, so I've heard.
It's like $300 a week for a good daycare. And then
that's nuts.
Another Midwest problem is people shaking babies. So that's been happening a lot in the area. So we're like,
yikes.
The only thing that's wrong with our kid is that she has a dad that's as weird as me. So I think I watched Akira with her when she was like 9 months old, and she sat there and watched the whole thing. She was like, wow. But now she walks in here every day, and she's blown away every day. She's like, wow, Dad. And she looks around and she's like, books. And she points, she calls that giant Mazinger statue Dad. She'll play it and goes, Dad, and then she has to hold it and carry it around. So
Yeah,
I'm sure the thing is going to be broken soon.
I think the big benefit of people like us being like children at heart is that when we do have kids, such as yourself, they're gonna have like a lot of great things to grow up with and enjoy.
She ain't touching any of this shit. You kidding me? I'm just kidding. Do you want kids?
I'd say like the older I get, like the more I do, but I don't want a lot of kids. I would probably want like ideally 2. I feel like any more than 2 is too much.
I completely agree. My wife wants 3 or 4. I only want 1. I'm good with her. She's fantastic. We weren't expecting. We got married, and then 2 months later, she was pregnant, and I was like, "Fuck." I'll never forget. I was playing Persona 5, and she just put the test down in front of me, and I just went, "Ah, God!" And I just stared off into the distance for like an hour, just thinking about all the shit that I'll never be able to do right away. And now I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Like that's my one deterrent of like, when should I try and have a kid? Because it's kind of like I already don't have free time. Like my watch list, dude, I wish I could just be combing through that right now, but I just can't find the time to do it on top of everything else I got to do on a daily basis. So it's like throw a kid on top of that. And it's like, obviously, you have to be a father. You have to be there and like actually do things with your child. So like, then there goes your free time. I mean, like theoretically you could mingle the two together, like, have your kid watch it with you, but yeah, basically free time tobacco.
We have a slide in our living room now. Just
hell yeah,
the kid loves it. So I'll be watching anime and she's just sliding all day. If you guys have any questions for Spooky before we wrap things up, because it is almost 5 a.m. and a wave hit me and I'm exhausted now.
All good.
Jinshot says, "What's your favorite mecha?" Ooh, God, that's such a tough thing to ask. My favorite Gundam is probably Gundam Unicorn. I like Evangelion quite a bit. Pat Labor, Giant Robo, God Mars. There's so many good mecha series. Are you a mecha fan, Spook?
I haven't seen very many. I've only seen Evangelion, Gurren Lagann, and is that it? That might be it.
And guys, if you aren't subbed to Spooky, fucking subscribe to Spooky. I'm sure all of you are literally subscribed to Spooky. Because you got what? How many subscribers?
I think it's like 443 or 4.
That's insane, dude.
It is a big number.
That is
like I never. 100K is the dream, and I never thought that I would hit it once, let alone 4 times.
My goal is 10K by the end of the year.
I think that's very realistic.
I think I can do it. I think if I start editing stuff, I think if I step up my game, I think I can do it.
Get your game on.
Get my fucking game on, dude. I don't know. I also just like I call it guerrilla style filming, where I just like throw my camera up and just wing it. I don't know.
There's a certain charm to it. Like that's kind of like what YouTube was. It's just like people just filming whatever they're talking about. Like there wasn't all this production value added until much later.
So Neon asked, "What's your top underrated Anitubers?"
Oh man. Let me scroll through my subscriptions real quick. Because the thing is, believe it or not, I actually watch a lot more of like other types of YouTubers than I do like actually Anitube. Axillion is a great one. He does kind of more like essay type things, but he talks about a lot of anime that I like and like things I wouldn't think about before. Definitely recommend him. Your man Flip Otaku right here, obviously.
Thank you.
Underrated as heck. Oh man, let me scroll through here. Oh, Evanito, great guy, great YouTuber. The Anime Dude, great man, great YouTuber.
The anime guy or dude?
Did I say the Anime Man? I meant the Anime Dude.
Who's the anime dude?
He's a personal friend of mine.
The anime dude?
He likes to talk about series that nobody talks about, and I greatly respect that. Because I feel like so many people are always about like trying to just jump on what's popular, but talking about things that you genuinely like and don't care like if it's going to get views or not. Mad respect. Low Art does he does like not just anime, but he also talks about anime stuff. He does some great videos. He doesn't upload a whole lot, but when he does, it's always a banger.
Who do you think is some like good OGs?
As far as AniTube goes?
Yeah.
Or like YouTube in general?
Like Bob Samurai and
Bob Samurai, like I haven't watched a whole lot of his stuff, but I've definitely seen a lot of his old reviews. I know I just said I didn't see a lot, but then I said I have seen a lot. I've seen some of his old reviews. And I feel like, how can I forget about Mudan TV? Dude, he's the most underrated manga tuber, AniTuber.
TV?
He honestly, he makes me jealous of the things he's able to do. Like he is by far the single best editor I've ever seen. For one, like it's so sad because I feel like these days he's like a bunch of bigger YouTubers saw how good he was and they're like, yo, you want to edit for me, dog? And like obviously you got to secure that bag. So it makes perfect sense. Like I totally understand, but it's like, bro, I miss his videos so much. Like he had this series called Weeb Wars, right? Which is basically where he'd take AniTubers, both big and small, and it'd be like a game show. And I did one with him one time. It's literally one of the most fun things I've been able to do. It was so great.
So now he edits for people?
Yeah, it's so sad. Like I wish he would just like honestly, I could see him making it huge, but like the problem is like he just didn't favor with the algorithm very well, so he wasn't able to like get where he wanted to be. But he is by far what I would say the most underrated that you should like dedicate your time to watching his stuff because he is like so underrated.
Now, do you know who he edits for?
I'm pretty sure he edits for the Anime Man. I think Eki as well, Eki Dearest.
Oh wow!
So like basically the big dogs, the pinnacle of anime YouTube is who he edits.
So he's securing that bag.
Yeah, he's securing the bag, and I respect that if that's what he wants to do. I'm just sad that his content, like has taken a back seat and because of that. But dude, highly recommend him.
How do you feel about Anime Man?
I haven't like actually watched too many of his videos, to be honest. I've never interacted with him, so I can't say like I have a huge opinion on him. But I feel like he's probably not a bad guy. Like that's the impression I get. Probably not a bad guy, but I can't say that like I'm like a fan or anything because I haven't really taken the dive to like actually watch what he does. Like I think I've watched a very small handful of videos.
My favorite YouTuber, and I'm not saying this just because he just is in the chat right now. I genuinely mean this, is Zach from Uchu Shelf. That dude is fantastic. Zach is just, it's like, you ever meet someone that's just super talented and it's unfair?
Yeah, Mudan TV.
like Mudan is, I mean, Zach's probably the Mudan of our small group. Like he is.
I can see that. He's got definitely some like good editing and like good camera personality.
Yeah, great camera personality. He's just fantastic.
Every community's got one that you're like, bro, you need to be doing better. Like if I could, I would single-handedly like give every asset to make this man like just blow up, but can't do it. That's on TV and your Uchu Shelf.
Yeah, Uchu's fantastic, dude. He's probably my best friend on this platform. I talk to him the most. He's great. We used to stream every single night for like months, and shit is wild. So shit would get a little too risque. But yeah, Zach's fantastic. Another people like Dubs not subs, I think is fantastic as well. Great camera personality. Yeah, just I think Dubs, Zach. I mean, Dubs, Zach, Boogie Snacks. Are you subbed to Boogie?
Yo, I was, but then he posted a reaction video, and I was out of there.
Are you serious?
I mean, no disrespect to the man. I appreciate what you want to do as like a creative venture, but like if I see a reaction video in my sub box, I'm out of there.
It's for real.
Yeah. Like for me, right? As a YouTuber, like as a creator myself, I feel like a reaction video is a very like uncreative type of content. And as a viewer, I don't like see any value there. So like as a viewer specifically, that's why I would unsubscribe. Like as a creator, I appreciate what you want to do and what you want to like follow. And I mean this to like anybody, like whatever your passion is, you should do it. But as a viewer, if I don't vibe with it, I'm out of there.
I do think Boogie's reaction video was good though, because he's an actual guitarist.
Mm-hmm.
And he offered something a little different to the reaction video genre.
See, like that's another thing too. I think any type of content can be done right and wrong. And like, I'm not necessarily going to say, because I didn't watch, I just saw like, hey, oh, reaction video, can't do it. That's my motto.
So, all right. So, would you unsub to me if I reacted to my friend's reaction video?
Yes. I don't really care that much. It's just when I notice it, I'm just kind of like, ugh.
Like you don't want it to be the only thing you see in your feed.
Yeah, I just can't do it. Like the thing that bothers me the most is like you're familiar with like all like the weekly chapter reviewers.
Yeah.
It's just like, why? Like all the like most of them, they just recap the chapter and like that's their review. Like, come on. Why? Like that's such brainless content. But
I see. Here's the thing: is that like I'm in a position where I have friends who do both of those types of content, and I don't want to like.
No, I mean no disrespect. Like I said, do whatever you want to do.
I do, even though I don't necessarily. All the chapter review stuff is like stuff I don't read, like Boruto. Mm-hmm. Like I know T-Bry does fucking Boruto chapter reviews, and I don't know how the man. He must
function after that.
He must have got like. Diddled as a kid or something. Yeah. I don't understand how he puts himself through that much pain.
Like honestly, for me,
what is but I still watch them. I still watch both. I know Alonzi has switched to reaction videos, and I still watch Alonzi's content. I think Alonzi's fantastic. I think he makes great reaction videos. But Alex is also a really good friend, so it's like he gets a pass. Do I sub to any other reaction videos? No, but since my friend's doing it. And I like his personality to begin with. I do anyways.
Yeah. Like it's one of those things where like, I'm not going to straight up like disrespect somebody for doing what they want to do. Like I obviously have my own opinion about like what I like and what I don't like, right? Everybody does. But like a friend of mine, for instance, I brought him up a little bit ago, the anime dude, like at one point in time, he was like pursuing reaction content. And like, I straight up told him like, dude, I love you. Like you're my friend and everything, but like, I don't vibe with this kind of content. So like, I'm not going to say like, hey, this is what you should do. This is what I'm going to watch because it's simply not like, I don't care. But if that's what you want to pursue, I'm all for it. Like whatever makes you happy, whatever content like you make and you're like, oh, I love doing this. Like, bro, go ahead. Like all for you, but I'm not going to like just also keep quiet just because he's my friend. Like I'm going to be straight up with him. I feel like honesty is one of like the most important things you can give to somebody you care about. Yeah. Even the hard truth, but like, obviously don't be a jerk about it. Like, unless, they're doing something that's going to like hurt them or others. But anyways, what I was going to say before is I feel like every type of content can be done right and done wrong. And I feel like if you show me the way that it can be done right, like I'm on board. Like when I just trashed weekly chapter reviews a minute ago, like for instance, what Tekking does, he like takes it so beyond like the next level of what like a weekly review could be that like I'm so on board. Like it is so entertaining. It's got production value. Like he's bringing up things like that aren't just like recaps, like things that actually like fill in with the chapters. Like it's fantastic. So like it can be done right. There's just so many people who are doing it wrong.
I just think there's so many people doing it too.
That's also a problem. Oversaturation is a huge problem. Like in any community, which is why like when you're doing something new and fresh, like that's when you kind of like trend set, you know what I mean?
Like I was gonna do weekly videos recapping the newest Super Sentai series. Mm-hmm. But I was like you said, I was like, I'm just gonna be recapping what's happening in the story. People are already gonna watch it. So I'm gonna wait till there's like probably 10 episodes out, and then I'm gonna like recap 10 episodes. That'll give, I think each Sentai series is 50-ish episodes. That'll be 5 episodes of worth of content to talk about. Which is better than just being like, hey, in Kira Manger episode 0, they got in a parking garage and fought.
See, what I've learned, like just from a creative standpoint, is like a really helpful like deciding factor is like for me personally, when you sit down like with an idea, right? You got to sit there and think, all right, what value does this have if I make this, right? So you got to think, okay, there's like 100 other people who are going to be talking about this specific chapter the same way I'm going to. Does this video hold value? So think about it like this. Like, let's say you're making a review of, I don't know, let's say Boruto chapter 69, right? Okay. So that video is only going to hold value that week or that month, because I guess it's a monthly series, not a best example, but that month people are going to care about that chapter because it's the newest chapter. But then wait till chapter 70 comes out, no one's going to watch that video anymore because that chapter's passed. Nobody cares anymore. So like the value that video held is gone. It doesn't have any. But if you can make something that's like, oh, this is going to hold value for a long period of time, like, I mean, I don't really have an example offhand. Like, let's say you're doing a tutorial, right? For as long as that, like whatever tutorial, like you're talking about, like let's say you're showing something in an editing program, like how to do something. As long as people need to do that thing, that video is always going to hold value. So it's like, make it, because you're always going to be helping people. People will always find that video to watch. It's always going to have relevant value to what you're talking about. So like if you can make a video that's going to have a lifespan, or like a topic or whatever that's going to last a long time, it's definitely worth making.
Alex is actually in the chat. What's going on, buddy? He said oversaturation isn't the issue. MangaTube has been a super creative place, but sadly there isn't a viewer base. So as good as someone is, nobody will ever transcend. And he does Zach's cover designs, which I don't know if you've seen. Have you seen Zach's cover designs?
I can't say that I have.
Which is what I'm talking about. Zach is too goddamn talented. It's unfair. Zach is a good video editor. He's a good graphic designer, and then also he did these really cool videos where he was designing manga covers. And they didn't get anywhere at all. And
it's definitely tough. Like I can relate to that to an extent. Like obviously to an extent, here I am with 100,000 subscribers plus saying like, oh, like I relate to that. But the best way I can describe it is like some projects, you just kind of have to know like, all right, this might not do well right now, but that doesn't mean it's never going to work. So like there's a series that I'm trying to like pursue creatively where I talk about anime live actions / manga live actions, right? And honestly, not that many people care about live actions. Like they get shit on all the time. It's not really something that people seek out, but I feel like it's such an unexplored medium that when it finally does become relevant, I'm going to have been like way ahead of the curve by talking about it early. Plus it's something that really interests me. So it's like, I'm pushing myself to do this thing that I know isn't going to do very well, but what if it does well someday? What if I kept trying at it and eventually I hit what I'm looking for? And that content that you thought would never go anywhere is suddenly all that. Sometimes it just takes the right video at the right time to really blow something up that like nobody cared about before.
Like Alex, for instance, Alex Alonzi, he's doing reaction videos now, which we talked about briefly. But he has transcended and has done very well. And like I said, I don't normally like reaction videos, but I like Alex's personality. I think he offers something different.
And sometimes that's all you need. Like I was saying earlier, like, for a lot of people, like the personality of a YouTuber is literally what they come for. So you could do almost anything. And like that audience that is there for you will always be there.
Yeah, that's true. Yep. And
it definitely just depends on the person.
And I think Alex and I think Neon's going to probably break through soon as well. Neon, he's got this whole hentai shtick going. And
hentai is pretty big in the anime scene right now.
and he's killing. And that's the thing is that like all my friends, like, and when I say friends, I mean like literally. I just talked to Neon last night for the first time, but I'm going to consider him a friend because he's awesome. But yeah, like Zach, Alex, Brian, even Brian.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
All these guys, Zach, Alex, Brian, Dubs, not Subs, Boogie. I mean, I'm probably going to name someone and forget. All these dudes are insanely talented, like insanely talented, whether it be editing or whether it be personality wise. And the best thing is being a part of a community and coming up with people and seeing your friends succeed. And I think also that draws negative attention. Like Alex just hit 10K subscribers recently. And I thought to myself, damn, that motherfucker, congratulations. I was like, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, big congrats. It's a huge milestone.
That's a huge milestone. But there's also people in this community, dude. There's been a lot of drama in this MangaTube community. Oh, dude, you don't even know. You don't even know.
I know I don't even know because I'm not gonna sit. I'm not really like when I see drama, I'll be like, okay, what's going on here? But I don't really like actively seek out what's going on. You know what I mean? Like if I hear about it, great. If I don't, like I'm not losing sleep.
What I love nothing more than seeing my friends succeed.
Yeah, me too.
That's the best thing. That's the best feeling. So you've never believe it or not, I had more drama doing manga than reactions. That's actually true, dude. There's a lot of people. So here's the thing with manga tube, because we talked about this earlier. You said you call yourselves manga tube. The problem is it's very, very clicky, like extremely clicky. I feel like people like me tend to bounce to all different groups. Like I know Dylan has his group with people like I think Brittany Hallis is a YouTuber, Lindsay Tutt, Melissa C. I talked to Dylan out of those groups, but I see them comment on my videos. I watch their videos. And then you got the British people. You got Callum, Alex, Hannah. Zach is the honorary British guy over there too, because he lives over there. But I talk to them more than I talk to anyone else. But then you got people like, not to drop names, like for instance, there's certain I don't know how to say it.
You're like, oh, I want to say it. I want to say it. I want to say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
I don't know how to say this without calling them out directly, but
before I say their name,
I do want to say I love their content. I think they are cool. I don't want to be an enemy to anyone except for Otaku Mike and Jin Grace. I think those two are big douchebags. But big F. That's big F. But like people like Mama Loves Manga, who I do like Mama Loves Manga, but she unfollowed me and unfollowed Zach solely based on the fact that we're friends with Alex. I think stuff like that is very silly as well. And then you got like other clicky people like Old Shaman and you got Gear Third Manga, Apollo Gray. You got those people over there. And it's just so weird because what we like is so niche. It's such a niche thing. It's manga. You know what I mean? Like it's so like it's comics already niche to begin with, but then you take Japanese comics, it's even nicher. So that's the worst part. But when you find a group of people that is so embracing and supportive, like people like Alex and Zach and Brian and Dubs and Boogie, those dudes are fucking rad as fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And, one of the best things about YouTube is making friends.
You can tell who I talk to the most by if I call them by their real name. Or if I call them by their but then you get people like Geeky, who is I think is absolutely killing it. She's smashing it right now. But yeah, it's just it's a weird place. MangaTube is a weird place. Also, people take it too seriously. Like it's just YouTube.
Yeah, like one of the things that's like been turning me off lately is just like a lot of people I know is just kind of like they're really obsessed with the numbers, right? Or like when something's not doing well, it just like wrecks their day. And I don't know, it just kind of makes me sad because like I definitely understand like the high that you get on when it's like everything's going great. Like, you know, everything's in the green, your graph, the bar is moving up. But like one thing you kind of have to learn about YouTube is that it's always full of up and downs. Like every time you're on an up, you're gonna have a down. It'll happen. And like you got to learn to be like, oh, that's okay. It happens. But like some people just like fall into this huge depression about it. And it's like, bro, like I get that views equals money. And when like your views are low, it equals less money. But like it's not the end of the world. You still have like thousands upon thousands of people, sometimes millions of people watching your videos. Like it's gonna be okay. Like you're not really like hurting right now. I don't know why it's so important.
For me, I did get really depressed lately because I was on such a roll. Like every video for like 2 months got over 1,000 views, and I was super jazzed up about it. And then lately, the views have been medium, like not terrible, but like medium. And it's just like I thought I was like I was on such a stride, but then again, I wasn't like. I mean, I have been feeling the YouTube burnout, and I don't know how you fucking handle that. Specifically,
it's very hard because like I'm uploading like the least I've ever done like the past like 6 months. Like I used to at least have a video ready like every 2 weeks minimum, And now like sometimes it's taken me months, and it just feels so shitty because I'm like, bro, I just want to do it, but I'm like, I feel myself slowing down, and I don't really like it. It's making me feel like I'm not doing enough, which I don't. At some point, you just kind of have to realize that like, you can only do so much as a single person for one. And with what you were saying, another thing that like you kind of have to just accept as a YouTuber or like just as a content creator in general is that like when a lot of your success involves an algorithm, and when things change and like you notice that change and everybody else in your group notices that change, like it's just something we have to deal with. Like the algorithm will always bounce back. Like there's never been a time like you start going down and you just keep going down unless you're just not doing anything or you're pissing everybody off.
And also, I want, before I forget, I want to give a huge shout out to Shay Geeks Out. She bounces around the clicks, and she kind of just is her own person. But she also covers a lot of just like really weird books with like cowboys with like abs and dick root showing on the cover. So that's her lane. That's not my thing, but I still watch her content because she's a friend. But yeah, also like speaking of that, YouTube, I would love to put more time into it, but like with work, like with like my career, I don't think I'll ever be able to ever truly do what I want to do.
It's very hard because like when it comes to any sort of like breaking into like content creation, you have to put time into it, right? But not everybody has a lot of time, and like not everybody can find that time. So with what I would suggest is the time you do have, I would just make the most of it. Like if you want this to like take off further, then when you do have time, just like fully dedicate, like full on, do what you got to do. Cause like I was working like 40 hours a week, which I know you work like way more now. So I'm not even going to, compare the two, but I would work 40 hours a week. But what I would do is I would work like 3 12-hour shifts. And then like, obviously like the after hour closing times, which would add on to that. So I could get like as close to 40 as possible because we couldn't do overtime, but get my 40 hours. And then I would do all that in just 3 days. So I would have 4 days that I could just fully dedicate to making videos. And then obviously for other people, you got to add school on top of that. You got to add families, all that jazz.
God
so like,
damn,
you just got to find the time.
If I didn't have a stupid fucking kid, I'd be able to.
I wouldn't say that.
No, if I take away anything from YouTube, like if I stop it tomorrow, if I take anything away from doing this, is the friendships mean the most. Zach, Alex.
Oh, for sure.
I'm going to use their real names. Bryce, fucking Bryce, and Ben, Dylan, the people I talk to on a regular basis. That's what I feel like is most important. Also, it's just fun being the fucking Mecha and Toku guy. And everyone just makes fun of me. So
see, that's another thing too. Is like
Sam. Also, Sam from Sam Manga Hunter. I don't know why I see. This is why I shouldn't do a podcast at 5:30 in the morning.
Sam is like one of my closest buddies from this platform, and I keep forgetting to name drop him. But yeah, Manga Hunter as well. Just or as you would say, Manga X Hunter.
Fact. I would say that
he's a Hunter X Hunter fan.
Yes, I'm one of those.
You're one of those people. You're one of those guys.
But one thing that I would say like that you have going for yourself is that when it comes to this particular genre, you're kind of like the expert, right? Whereas someone like me with what I do, I tend to be like a quote unquote jack of all trades, where I like to know a little bit about everything, but I could never be like the expert, right? But when it comes to all that stuff, all the information. So like anybody who's ever interested in that, like you're their guy. So you'll always be the king of that niche.
But Spook, that's the problem. No one is interested in the shit.
Well, then you got to make them interested. You got to make them interested.
Trying to sell Japanese men in spandex is a little tough of a sell.
Oh, come on. There's plenty of Power Rangers fans. You can do it.
Yeah, but that's true.
I know it's not the same thing, but like,
I mean, it literally is Sentai footage. So, yeah, it technically is the same thing. But there's so Bobby Joe says there's no way this doesn't sound like an insult, but Spooky is the second dude whose videos I've seen on this podcast. So I think he's saying out of the guests. Oh, Base and you are the only people that he's seen videos on.
I've made it, boys.
You've made it on my on my small ass channel. Congratulations, Boogie, not Boogie, Spooky. God damn it, dude. It's 5:30 in the morning almost.
Yeah, I apologize.
Let's go wrap this up. This was God, I can't even fucking talk, dude. This has been
a blast, dude. I did not expect this to go for 2.5 hours almost.
Was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, dude.
Pleasure.
A lot of manga talk towards the end, a lot of Midwest living. Good
towards the beginning.
Towards a lot of corn. So do you want to plug anything or?
Nah, I'm good.
All right. Well, don't
just subscribe to your boy Flip. That's all you got to do.
Thank you guys. Yeah, and everyone, of course, go to my channel's page, go to the squad page, subscribe to everybody. Zach. I'm probably gonna get more views on this video because it's you than normal. So I'm gonna
I wouldn't say that necessarily.
You would be surprised, dude. Some people
like I'd say I'm one of the smaller of the big names.
Yeah, but people still love you though.
I try.
Alonzi, obviously, Uchu Shelf, On the Shelf, Boogie Snacks, Base Senpai, Manga Hunter, Dubs Not Subs. Yeah, I think that's. Dylan, Dynamic Dylan, Geeky. God damn it, dude! There's too many friends. There's too many Shade Geeks out. There's too many people. Neon Nova, which you should check out Neon Nova, dude. By the way,
noted.
They're a filmmaker. They're a married duo, and they make films, and they are also into manga and anime. So, anyways, guys, peace out, and remember,
stay spooky.
Stay spooky. Cardi B's the GOAT.